in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday, everybody. Yes, welcome to Monday. Mm-hmm. Couple weeks of Christmas. You got that going for you.
You know, why do you say that like it's a good thing? You're literally 19 days away, kids. 18 shopping days left.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Some downtime with family. All
this is downtime. Do you hear him? You hear this guy? This is a guy who's married with no kids. This is downtime right now. Shut up.
Shut up. I'll be on the road too. I'll be out and about fighting people. Yeah. That happened Friday apparently. Somebody de-armed Sonny. I noticed it over the weekend.
Oh, that dog won't hunt.
Yeah. Somebody ripped off the other arm.
You know what? I can't call him Sonny anymore. You don't have to call him now. We call him Matt.
Or Art or Bob. Depending on scenario.
Oh,
put him in water, he'll be Bob. Hang him on the wall, he's Art. Yeah. He's got no arms.
You got no arms, Lieutenant Sonny.
And then the savage part is they left the other.
And they left it there.
Limb just dangling there.
Stare at your injury.
Yeah.
By the way, for the record, we're talking about this.
Somebody saboteured Sonny's other arm.
That is just straight up dirty, too.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it has snapped it.
Now we can't even redo the Def Leppard band.
No, we can't.
He's useless.
Yeah, well. Yeah,
he can't even haul. He can't be a roadie or haul equipment or not.
He's basically Stephen Hawking. He's all his thoughts now.
Maybe he's our front man. Hopefully he can sing.
Well, I was gonna say I've had a rough morning, but not nearly as rough as Sonny. I could just
Tanya, that poor guy. Yeah, I noticed that Friday night. Friday night we came up here. Of course, we're getting ready for the All-Star games this weekend. Which, by the way, big thank you to all involved with that. Big success there. And also congratulations to the NMMI Broncos on winning their playoff game yesterday at the Wool Bowl.
Keeping it alive.
They advanced to the championship game. That was the semifinals yesterday. So now they're playing for a JUCO championship next week. Yeah,
they got a raging semi this week over the weekend, and now it's on the way to the championships.
So congratulations to them. So it's Friday night. We were up here and they were doing something on here, and then we met and all ate for dinner and all that. But yeah, I looked and I said, dang, so it happened Friday, because that's when I noticed it Friday night when I was in here. So, it had one arm Thursday, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He had one arm up until Friday.
So it happened Friday.
Friday evening, I'm going to say.
Well, sometime
or
Friday.
Afternoon.
Or could have been during the morning show. And someone was here playing with it while on air and just ripped it off. And I didn't notice. Anyway, travesty, huh?
It's a damn shame. Darn shame. Yeah, so Mondays, am I right? All right, let me explain something. So I have one of those names that's rather interestingly spelled, and it's one of those things where it's like if you're walking around and you happen to see like my name on a keychain and you're one of my friends, you're going to be like, oh, I don't see that very often. You know, it's very hard to find one spelled S-E-A-N, so I'm going to grab that and give it to him. Thing is, my best friend and my girlfriend both shop at Bass Pro Shops. Or Cabela's, if you will, same company.
But they carry a S-E-A-N keychain.
They happen to carry an S-E-A-N keychain. So my best friend Misty actually recently came back from a trip, and she's like, ooh, I'm so excited because I found your name on a keychain. About a month ago, I got this exact same keychain from my girlfriend who went to Vegas, visited the big Bass Pro Shops there, got me the same keychain. So I have this keychain on both sets of keys. What this set of keys does not have is a key to this building, this radio station, my house, any of that stuff.
So it sounds like you need to
get more sets of things, or
somehow mark one of the keychains to delineate it from the other.
Well, usually one is heavier, there's definite differences.
Okay.
But the similarities and my rush to get out the door this morning caused me to leave with this set of keys, not the other set of keys. And so the set of keys that has all of my unlocking abilities is locked in my house right now. So I'm going to figure out how I'm going to get in my house to get those keys to get access to everything else in my life.
Is it still a thing for people to have a keychain with the big strap thing to put around your neck and then not put it around your neck?
The lanyard?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Dude, literally, I had...
You should add a colored lanyard to each
one. You
one.
can go back and look at every single one of my Facebook, and I wouldn't recommend it. But over the last 5 years, I've had this woven lanyard that a friend's kid made for me years and years ago, and I kept it for years. I recently, only 6 months ago, retired this lanyard. And now this.
Well, maybe you should add.
Maybe unretire the lanyard.
Or kind of like when people put a ribbon on their suitcase kind of thing. Maybe you need to do something like that to your keys.
I joked that this is the set of keys that has the gym membership in mint condition. That's right. Never been used.
But his, frequent flyer card at the McDonald's was excellent. Right. That thing looks beat up.
I don't know if you know this, but they actually have loyalty points at Baskin Robbins. Once you eat there enough times, they start giving you the points. You have to crack through. It's like Scientology. Whatever you have to break through. I'm actually OT level 9 Baskin Robbins.
Yeah. See, I'm never good at keeping up with those.
No.
Like one's notorious is Papa Murphy's. Because you know how they give you their, you get 10 pizzas and get that card. I never remember. I always forget. I probably have about 10 of those cards with 2 pizzas stamps on each one.
You know when you'll start to use those? Get yourself some kids.
Yeah.
Preferably yours or yours adjacent.
Just random kids.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend getting randos. But no, dude, I can't tell you. There is never... I participate wildly in the Domino's Piece of the Pie program, and I have never had a free pizza sit in that queue more than about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Ooh, free pizza, done. Every single time. I'm not going to be like, oh, do you want to accumulate some points? You're funny. I got a kid to feed.
Now I'm holding out for
I got a rather particular kid to feed. Let's go ahead and make with the free pie.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't there wrong with that? I'm just bad about that. I forget about it and all that. So happy Monday. Congratulations to the NMMI Broncos. Congratulations to, I guess, the red teams. They both. I think they both won the early game and the second game.
Red cleaned it up quite nicely.
Red over green, but great games. It was fun to check them out online and put them on the radio.
I'm a fan of people who lean into the irony of certain things. And I hope that it was intentional that they did the red versus green game around Christmas time. I'm assuming it was.
Well, this is new to have it around this time, so I'm going to say yes. It was all by design.
But I'm going to assume that, the red versus the green, red chili, green chili, the whole Christmas thing, I'm going to assume that was done intentionally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, by the way, real quickly, I just wanted to say, the Historical Society for Southeastern New Mexico is still looking for bidders. The silent auction is going on through today.
Yeah.
They want you to log on to roswellnmhistory.org for all the items, including a Brighton purse, a bath and body collection, a pet collection, fantastic art, a surprise Christmas box with a $100 bill, and much more. Yeah, silent auction is going to end tomorrow, December 6th at 3 p.m. Help support the Historical Society for Southeastern New Mexico and do your Christmas shopping. For more information, call Amy McVeigh-Tejas at 575-915-4471. Merry Christmas to all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is last day for that. Go to roswellnmhistory.org, and you'll find the link to the auction there. Yes, as Sean was saying, beautiful purses, gift baskets, artwork. I don't know if the Peter De La Fuente is still available. I told you get on that one quick. I'm not sure if it is. Greg Birch, his artwork, beautiful stuff, all there. Again, roswellnmhistory.org, and get out there and check it out and get some great Christmas gifts. And again, helping out the Historical Society.
You ever play the mitten game?
The mitten game. Maybe.
This is one of my favorite Christmas games ever. Christmas party games. What you do. it starts with a ball. Usually it starts with like $100 bill wrapped or like wadded up into a ball.
Okay.
So that's where it starts. Then you wrap that in wrapping paper. You wrap that in another layer of wrapping paper. You tape wrapping paper. Then you start putting other things inside of this wrapping paper. Like a $20 bill here.
Okay. All good things?
A gift card. Sometimes. In some cases, it's like a piece of gum, or, you can do like those pranks or whatever.
A booby trap prize.
Right. But then you wrap this whole gigantic ball up. Okay. And then everybody sits down in a circle, and you all have to wear mittens. And the goal is, using just mittens, you have to tear this open. And each person gets a turn. And if you can tear into it, you get the next layer of whatever's down there. The goal being to try to like get to the bottom.
100.
Right.
Okay.
Right, but each layer has like something in it, or could have something in it.
I've never played that.
It's a fun way to. And granted, if you're a parent, it can set you back a few bucks.
Sure,
it's going to cost you a good $200 or $300 to have a really fun game of.
Unless everybody brings something to throw in the thing, and then you just throw it in there or something. But kind of like a Mean Santa-esque type deal. But
what would be really fun is to do the mitten game, but each layer have it be like blackmail photos of either like coworkers or friends. And it could work both ways.
The can of worms.
It could be like of you, so that everybody sees your stuff, or it could be of someone else. You could be like, you could tuck it back and be like, I can use this later for, for whatever.
Saboteur mitten game.
Give it the evil twist.
That's right. So, but yeah, definitely go check out that auction.
Absolutely.
There, and I'm telling you, there's some real cool stuff on there that you're going to want to own or give as a gift, and you're helping out the historical side by doing that. So RoswellNMHistory.org, por favor. We get to chit chat this hour, so we're just gonna sit back, talk about weekends, talk about all that good stuff. Next hour, we're gonna replay our interview we had with Roswell High wrestling coach Jesse Boggs. Tomorrow is the Duel in the Desert. Roswell High and Goddard High are squaring off at the Wool Bowl in a wrestling match. Both mats on the Wool Bowl right there in the middle. And they're going to have the crowd come on out and watch the game outdoors at the Wool Bowl. So watch the wrestling match there. We talk all about that and talk some wrestling with Coach Boggs. And
if they are looking for someone to bring the wrestlers to the mat, I volunteer.
There we go. Coach, do you hear that?
I've been working on my North Carolina.
Maybe you could be a manager.
Ooh, that would be fun. By the way, if he's not going by Jesse the Body Boggs, he's doing himself and the community a disservice. Just saying. You have an opportunity here.
Well, I would recommend like one of his players calling him the Body to see how they might be doing extra up and downs or something.
If you want to lean a little bit more heavily into the history, the Brain.
The Brain, yes. Bobby the Brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesse the Brain Boggs.
Although the Body was a much more handsome man than the Brain.
Sure. But the Brain got it done.
Well, the Body became governor.
Yeah.
And an actor.
That's true.
I don't know what he's doing now. He's probably just living large in Mexico. He's got his property down there in Mexico, living off the grid or whatever he
Waiting
does.
for his chance to go on the Alex Jones show again.
It's like, I know that predator's still out there, man.
It's really funny to hear him the way he talks. He's that weird voice where it kind of feels like he's doing a thing.
Yeah, well, it's a little pukey, but that might be his wrestling stick. I don't know if that even like.
It's the same thing.
His acting was talking the same.
If you ever hear Terry Bollea speak now, it's like he doesn't. I don't think he even knows what his real voice sounds like, because even his normal speaking voice still has that kind of brother to it.
Well, that's what I always wonder. Like when like that Dark Side of the Ring documentary series. I always wonder when they interview like the old time manager wrestlers from the 80s and they still like act and wear the accoutrement today.
Jimmy Hart's a great example.
Yeah, and I always wonder, are they that 24/7 or is it just in front of cameras? Like what are those guys like when they're like just at home cooking dinner? Are they still Jimmy Hart doing? I mean, I feel like in some cases these people are. Some of them.
So you know how this is kind of 3 shades removed, but I'll tell you a great place where you can see an example of that is, and we've talked about this before. What's the name of that older? He's very flamboyant gentleman. He's been on like all the TV shows. Like what's his name?
Rip?
Tracy? Huh? No, not Rip Taylor. we were talking
younger
about
or older?
Older fella. White hair. He's been in like
the actor.
Yeah,
he's on what's her name's TV show,
Right.
the Call Me Cat.
Yeah, that
I don't
guy.
remember that guy's
Okay,
name.
but
Little
that
short guy. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
he's got a TikTok.
Yeah,
And he's
very social
blown up.
media famous.
He's blown
yeah.
up on TikTok with a lot of his socials. I'd imagine that is in largely what those folks are like all the time. Is
Yeah.
they're on, but not necessarily like on. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like, have you ever heard Gilbert Godfrey just talk?
No,
Really?
I've not.
You never? Okay, so
every
that's-
time it's always been, and even when he's on Stern and stuff talking quote unquote normal, it's still
he's got
that
well,
strained.
He's got a bit of that, but,
yeah.
but he pulls it way back. It's almost like if you ever hear like Macho Man talk.
Okay,
Like
I've heard a little bit of that when he's on Stern, but most of the time he's in character.
that's really what it is. It's just the character is just an elevated version of them, like of their height. Like,
Yeah.
their like highest. Like when I get really angry, I sound like this, but when I'm acting, I sound like this.
Like the other person I wonder if they're like that all the time is comedian Lewis Black. Like he's that, and I know it's his act, and then when he gets mad, he's and he shakes and waves his finger. I wonder, like in real life, like he's like, will you just take the dog out or whatever? You know what I mean? Like in everything in his life.
I would imagine.
I think he's got to be somewhat like that.
I
in
would
real life.
imagine no.
You don't think so?
Here's why. Because I'd imagine if you ever watched his stand up, the way he acts, he's just.
It looks like he's about to have a
Okay.
stroke.
Well, he's
And
like, okay, this
so-
all seems fine. So I would imagine what he's doing
yeah,
all throughout his day. He's just going about his business. Okay.
building up to that.
Fantastic. He's just soaking it in. He's soaking it in like a sponge. There's a white hot, and I know this because of therapy. There's a white hot ball of rage right here, and it needs to be expressed. It has to be let out. But he's not doing anything about it. He's just adding layers. It's a gobstopper of rage, a white hot gobstopper of rage. And when he hits the stage,
And then it comes out.
keep the sandfold on.
And then he pops.
Yeah, that's when he
Has
pop
a
it open.
stroke and pops over. I'm waiting for one of those to happen on him. He's so like you can see veins in his face,
yeah.
and you're like, all right, man, you calm down. You're gonna have a coronary up
Well,
on stage.
Kinnison,
Here.
same way. I always thought,
Yeah,
that man.
Yeah, he
gotta
was
pop something.
Well, he was on a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
that was cocaine.
That's true. I hear it's a hell of a drug.
It is. 7:22. Let's get you up to date with the weather. Spoiler alert: it's colder today. Not nearly as the 70s and stuff we've been enjoying.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty cool today. We'll stay in the low 50s for the afternoon high with high pressure moving into our area behind last night's cold front. The weather pattern looks fair, though, mostly sunny through the afternoon hours. Overnight will be clear and chilly with lows in the upper 20s to around 30, and then we'll start to warm up tomorrow. Highs 65 to 70 and sunny. We'll be in the 70s on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 31 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 42%. Winds currently out of the northwest at 7 miles per hour. We might get to 50 today. They're saying a high of 49 officially with north winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, skies will be mostly clear. Another chilly one, overnight low of 27. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday and the rest of the week, things get a little bit warmer and more manageable here. We're going to be in the mid-60s on Tuesday. Sunny, 66 tomorrow. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, clear skies. Overnight low of 31, so below freezing once again. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny. Highs back into the low 70s, 72 officially. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, mostly sunny. Once again, highs right around 72. Friday, partly cloudy and windy with highs in the upper 60s, 68, what they're saying right now. And then looking at the weekend, we'll be back into the 50s on Saturday, 56 and sunny, and then back into the mid-60s on Sunday. So a little roller coastery, but chilly today, and then a bit of a warm-up, and then chilling back down for the weekend for a little bit. So we'll see how all that shakes out. All right, it is closing on 7:25. Let's go ahead and get you into your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten. We'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good December run this week with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves, light yearlings, many weaned with condition. We expect to sell 1,700 head, breaking down like this: 175 to 200 weighing cows and bulls, 75 to 100 pairs of bred cows, 1,400, 1,500 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 25 bred cows, the Anderson Ranch, Pyote, Texas. Excellent quality, 80% black, white-face Angus crossbred cows, bred to Angus bulls. Cows be 4 to 8 years old. The Taylor Ranch, 136 calves here west of Roswell. Excellent quality, black, white-face Angus and yellow Charolais cross calves. Cattle weaned 50 to 60 days, 3 rounds of shots. Multi-men, bunk broke, 400, 550 pounds. 86 calves, A&K Land and Cattle Company, Hope, New Mexico. Excellent quality, black, white-face Angus cross calves. Shots at Brandon, medium condition, 350, 500 pounds. 90 calves, Mr. David Gable, Roe Mesa, New Mexico. Excellent quality, black, white-face Angus and Charolais crossbred calves. Cattle Master 5-7 way at Brandon, medium condition, 350, 450 pounds. 24 steer calves, Maley Land and Cattle, Carlsbad, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus cross calves, shots at Brandon, 400, 500 pounds. 63 calves and light yearlings, Castle Ranch, Maljamar, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus and Brangus crossbreds, cattle weaned 45 days, 400, 650 pounds. 74 calves, Diamond Tail Ranch, Quemada, New Mexico. The Chavises, excellent quality, 90% black, white-face Angus crossbred calves, medium condition, 375, 550 pounds. 68 calves and light yearlings, U-Bar Ranch, Silver City, New Mexico. X-quality black Angus crossbreds, cattle weaned 70 days, medium condition, 460, 600 pounds. And 63 calves, Stockton Ranch, Dexter, New Mexico. X-quality black, white-face Angus cross calves, cattle weaned 65 days, 2 rounds of shots, 400, 550 pounds. Sale time this morning, 9 o'clock. Sell pairs bred cows 10. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10:30 to 11. A little shorter on cows today, so don't be late. We expect to sell 1,700 head here today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Looking for holiday fun for your family? Come ride the Roswell Christmas Railway, opening November 26th at the Spring River Zoo for its 6th season of spreading holiday joy. See Santa, explore the Light Maze, play in Elf Town, and more. New for 2021, the Plateau Ice Skating Rink, Blocktown Christmas Lego Display, and Christmas Karaoke. Get dates, tickets, and more info at RoswellChristmasRailway.com. The Roswell Christmas Railway, November 26th through Christmas at the Spring River Zoo. Sponsored by Southwest Printers, Farmers Country Market, the Farmhouse on 2nd, Foxworth Galbraith Lumber, Emery's Pumping Service, and All American Cleaners.
It's back and just in time for Christmas, the Yucca Blossom Christmas Jamboree. Come experience a winter wonderland of vendors. Over 50 will be fully stocked to help you take care of all of your Christmas shopping. No waiting, no shipping. The Yucca Blossom Christmas Jamboree is Saturday and Sunday, December 11 and 12 at the Eddy County Fairgrounds. Family fun includes a cornhole tournament, Moose Caboose Kids Train, a mechanical bull, Runyon Ranch Petting Zoo, and more. Bring the kids because you know who will be there too. Saturday and Sunday, December 11 and 12 at the Eddy County Fairgrounds in Artesia. And thanks to Navajo Refining Holly Frontier for helping us get the word out.
What makes a company a true success? It's the people in the company that make all the difference. So offering your employees better health insurance only makes good business sense. True Health New Mexico gives them access to more than 10,000 providers and a truly huge list of low or no-cost prescription medicines, all at a cost that lets you stay true to your employees and to your bottom line. Visit us at TrueHealthNewMexico.com. It's a true investment in your greatest assets, your people. So true.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, "Hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:29. Hey, how's that internet working out for you at your house? If you're thinking, man, I was trying to watch some movies and it kept bogging down, or I was having problems, or, I'm watching movies and stuff, but I want to put some vids up and some content, and it really takes forever. Well, there is a solution for you, and the answer is Plateau. That's right, Plateau's smart home Wi-Fi. It's the ultimate Wi-Fi experience. You get fiber-to-home technology That's 100 times faster than the average household internet speed. And they've got different plans that fit your family's needs and budget. Like you could get their fast plan, where you get true 100 megs of upload and download speed. And why is that a big deal? A, because it's fast. 100 megs upload and download's pretty fast. But with fiber, it's consistent upload and download. A lot of times with DSL, cable, some of these other high-speed platforms, they can promise higher download speeds, but the upload speed is a fraction of what the download speed is. You can get 100 down, but your up speed is about 5. And the big difference there is not so much when you're trying to like watch your movies on Netflix and what have you, but say you're trying to upload a video or upload some content you created. That's when you get into upload speeds. And when you get your 100 down and 3 up, it takes a lot longer to do that. So with Plateau, fast and faster, all the others, you get its upload down and consistent, 100 up and down. So,
say for example, you have an OnlyFans page, and you really have a demanding fan base, demanding clientele. You know what? You don't want to keep them waiting. That's where Plateau comes in.
There you go. If fast isn't fast enough for you, go with the faster plan, where you get true 500 megs of upload and download speed. And if that still isn't enough for you, I don't know how. But if it's not, they got one more for you, the fastest, where you get 16 gigs of upload and download speed. That's like, I love it. That's like that. Now we're getting into those Mountain Dew extreme, ginormous, super duper fast.
You know what it reminds me of?
Ridiculously fast.
You know what it reminds me of? Cold Stone Creamery.
Yeah.
Their flavors come in, or their sizes come in like it, love it, and gotta have it. I love that. That's fantastic.
What's the bigger one? Gotta have it? Okay. So expand your home Wi-Fi coverage with Plateau's smart home Wi-Fi. Find the plan that fits you today. Log on to their website, plateaufiber.com, to learn more. Again, that's plateaufiber.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Bam.
Yeah. So, I have it in my home, and I like it a lot. I like it a real lot. Like, I'm not so much of an uploader. I mean, once in a while, like, say when I was at home COVIDing up a couple months ago, that upload speed came in real handy at my home. So, it was nice. So you get to see my boogers in all its glory.
That's right. Mike's OnlyFans page did not go wanting. Except for ours is a little different. What it is, basically, you can go there and you can watch videos of local radio talent enjoying ham sandwiches. It's called Only Hams.
I'd a volunteer for that.
Different pork products. We have to just eat bacon, or for the extra fee, we take a bath in the fat bath.
Yeah. Well, and like say, McRib season McDonald's, we could devote a week to just eating McRibs.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm totally down.
And I invite all to the rib game. I will have you tried the Arby's one? I don't think it's I don't know if it's out anymore.
I don't know if it is or not, but I haven't tried. I didn't try.
It was tasty.
Was it?
It's tasty. I enjoyed it. I was licking my fingers after that one. That was a good one too. So you know what? You put meat on bread and sauce,
right?
I'm going to be your biggest fan. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Takes care. I mean, it scratches an itch.
It does.
Yeah, really does.
I get a lot of those itches.
Like's an itchy fella.
Yeah.
When it comes to your meats, that might actually be the cause of the itch.
Could be.
All the meat sweats.
Could be.
Saying. Speaking of, it just kind of sprung in my head when I mentioned Cold Stone back there. Did you know if you go to Chick-fil-A, and you say thank you, they are required to answer,
"You're welcome.
My pleasure."
Ooh.
Yeah.
See, I don't go to Chick-fil-A often enough to.
I know. I don't either. I just found this out.
Not one around here.
I found this out from TikTok. Apparently, if you go to Chick-fil-A like through the drive-thru and you say thank you, they're required to say "my pleasure." The video was great because he was like, "Oh, thank you," and the guy forgot because he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this dude say my pleasure." And the guy like behind the register was like, "My pleasure." Yeah, they don't enjoy saying it. So what the video was suggested was say anything besides thank you. Like say much obliged, say I appreciate it. Your services have been whatever. My gratitude for your service, things like that.
Okay.
Or just here's $1.
What's funny is, and this is the sad part we live in, it's like you have to train people to be nice.
Yeah.
That's not natural.
Yeah, because that feels so dirty. That's right up there with if I'm going to the strip club, I don't know what to believe anymore. You know?
It's like I get it. But it doesn't kill it. Maybe be pleasant to each other.
I guess
it's hard.
A lighter example of that for family friendly sake is if you've ever gone to like a Hooters. And you know how like
family friendly?
Hey, yeah, I know, right? Hey, hon, I'm gonna come down and sit down at your table with you, and we're gonna chat, have a conversation. I'm gonna casually touch your shoulder, and I'm gonna laugh at all your jokes because really, I just want you to tip me.
I really hate when they do that.
Don't you? Yeah, it just feels oogie.
You're getting into my space now. Right. I don't like. I know they say it's supposed to make you. I'm like, no.
Well,
you're there. I'm here.
Here's the thing.
That's how this relationship works.
I've seen the movie Waiting.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what happens. She goes. Hey, everybody. I know exactly how much you hate doing what you're doing.
Well, don't. You don't have to.
I don't like it. You don't like it.
Yeah,
Let's drop the pretense. Bring me my wings.
Be regularly, normally nice to me. How you normally are. You just hey, how you doing? What can I get you? Great.
That's it.
Thanks. That's all I need. I don't need
Stop
you to
calling me hun.
You don't have to lean down on my face. You don't have to, get all personal. Just say, how are you?
I will say this.
Thank you. Hi.
I was raised in the South.
Yeah.
I call it deep South, but a lot of people say, well, you're not deep enough. But I was raised in relatively deep South.
Yeah.
Most of the women of my mom's age and or around there, I was darlin', hun, shug, baby, or, I was some combination of those.
Sure. I don't mind that if that's how they talk to everybody.
Right.
But if you're doing that just to try to, get me to tip you better, then I'm like, stop it.
Right.
I'll tip you just fine if you treat me normal and treat me just, I'll give you a good tip. But if you act like a human being around me and don't make me feel overly welcome or overly oogie.
I feel like there's that one guy, because it's Rule 34. Yeah. There's that one guy that's like, I don't know, man. She's extra nice to me.
Yeah.
I feel like there might be a chance. I feel like she puts a little honey on my huns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She puts a little honey on my shugs.
Well, guys like yourself have been falsely thinking that for eons.
I know. That's why.
Wisen up. It ain't what they care.
That's why adult industries are still totally a thing.
Wisen up.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I think she likes me. I think it's different. I think this is different. All right, bud. You go break out 20 singles and see how she feels.
But take it back to restaurants, those places. Yeah, you're right. It does.
And when did we ever leave restaurants? I was totally still talking about restaurants. Golden Corral. I'm just saying.
But then there's some that are, I like the conversing ones, but I like the ones that converse normal, not like have trumped up conversations. You're like, oh, I'm just saying pleasantries to get you out of here.
I'll tell you this.
I like when there's real dialogue and you make a joke or something. I'm down with that when it's real talk, but not when it's pleasantries to just make it seem like I'm really nice and I'm saying this just to be really nice to you.
I like, and this is going to sound odd unless you've been there, I like an Artesia waitress. One of those like, I know exactly who you are. We're going to have conversations like I've known you for 37 years. What I don't like is this.
He's got to get in character. Hold on.
Oh, hey, everybody. How we doing today? All right. So let's sit here and chat about what we're going to do today. Okay. You know what I'm saying when they're sitting formally?
Well, that's a tactic I know they teach sometimes. Like some restaurants, that's rule number one is I want you to sit down with your customers.
Sit with them. Make them feel like you're a part. No.
Yeah, no. You don't want to do it. The customer really doesn't want you to do it. Just, and then there's always one that does, but 90% of us don't. I mean, there's the one person, I know those people because my father was kind of one of them. They'll talk to anybody.
Oh, yeah.
And they like when people, but those conversations are butt awkward. Because then my dad would loudly point out flaws that the person has. Like my mom, one time, this was years ago. No, this was when my wife and I were dating, I think.
Okay.
And we went to an Olive Garden to eat. It's fancy.
You really were trying to attack her down.
Well, this was my dad taking me and Kim out and this was back when he was single. Like my parents divorced. He had not found Donna yet, and he was kind of sad in that little stage there. He was living on his own, and he's trying to impress us with ramen. It's just a weird time. But anyway, he takes us out to dinner to Olive Garden. And the gentleman that was either a host or I don't think he was our waiter, but he was a waiter there, and he was walking around. And my father started talking to him, like he normally does. And they're kind of like, all right, Dad, let the guy do his job, man. Come on, let's sit down. And then he proceeds to talk about the fact this man had one arm and how he waits tables with one arm. But he says it loudly, and you're like, what are you doing, Dad? And I think he even made it.
But that's when the guy goes, what? He knows he's only got one arm, Susan.
And I think my father made a joke about one arm in this to the guy, thinking it was funny. And clearly the guy laughed to be polite, but you could tell that guy wanted to take his other arm and just swing it right at Dad. And I probably don't blame him. I would have done it too.
This is your dad?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
My dad does and said.
I was like, the only way.
He's no longer with us, but he used to do that once in a while.
The only way you could have pulled the nose up out of this whole conversation, honestly, is if he would have asked what time the guy leaves this job to go drum for Def Leppard. That's the only way he could have pulled this bad boy out, like pulled the nose up out of this one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, my father had a knack for doing that every once in a while, especially when we were kids. He was notorious for just not reading the room and just saying, doing things that's like the needle scratcher.
So you've got one arm. What? He knows he's only got one arm, Sharon.
Yeah, he was one of those people.
Dude, okay, that's a whole other thing. I'm not sure if you've been on the internet this weekend.
I have.
If you have, I have no doubt in my mind that you've been privy to the Ballad of Sharon.
No, I haven't really been on like social media.
Then
I've been on the internet.
Michael, let me introduce you to some gold. I'm gonna invite you to a Facebook page later.
Okay.
Let me back up. Thanksgiving 2021.
All right.
Marie Callender's releases a pumpkin pie.
Really?
Okay, it's a bacon served pumpkin pie.
Okay.
So
like in the frozen section at your supermarket. Gotcha.
So Sharon, this person on Facebook, decides to post a picture of her pie after she says she followed the instructions on the box and said, "Why, Marie Callender's? Why would you let this happen to me? It ruined my Thanksgiving." Posting a picture of what can only be described as a pie that has been burnt to a crisp. It is like black on the top with just a little bit of pumpkin like underneath the cracked layer of like
So she burned the pie?
Soot. Essentially, she burned the crap out of the pie.
And it was Marie Callender's fault?
But she decided to blame Marie Callender's. But the internet didn't let that go. So the internet has been awash with memes of how Sharon has destroyed. Like basically, like they said, you didn't have to set your oven for lava before you put the pie in. Or my favorite one is takes pie out of box, looks up, basically yeets pie into the sun. It's just all these. So there's a whole Facebook page devoted to memes that are just dragging Sharon for how she doesn't know how to make a pie.
Yeah.
And now she blames Marie Callender's. And people are like comparing that to other things. It's like shoots guy in face. It's like, how dare you, Smith and Wesson? You know, and I'll invite you later. But the internet is alight today with Sharon memes.
I wonder what happened to Sharon. Like, did Sharon even try to defend herself at any point? Or
well, I'm sure that's the thing, dude. When the internet
happens, you're out.
When the internet takes your story, if you try to defend yourself, you're only going to make things worse.
That's why I'm wondering. Like,
it's literally like if someone takes a poop off of a highway overpass and it splats onto your windshield, you turn the windshield wipers on, you're not helping, you're only making it worse.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find this group that I'm in.
Because I'm curious, like, where's Sharon at after her Marie Callender's posting?
I'm sure she's leaning into it as much as possible. But
like, is she like, oh man, I messed up here? Is she gone into hiding, or is she actually trying to fight back and defend her pie burning in some way, shape, or
there is
form?
No defense for what you did. There is no defense, Sharon, for what you've done. But what people are doing, they're making like cookies with like the frosting design on the top is just the burnt pumpkin pie, but it's just like a normal cookie underneath. Pretty good. I'm trying to see, of course, now when I bring it up, it's not going to come up. But
I missed all of that over the weekend.
The group is called Marie Callender's Sharon Pie Roasting Posting. Let me find a picture of the pie itself in question, because once you see this thing, people are posting pictures of baking bad. It's real. It's really.
Well, and in all fairness, putting a Marie Callender pie in the oven, I don't qualify as baking. Okay,
right.
You just put it in the oven.
Well, this didn't qualify as baking for her either. Trust me, she like basted this thing.
Yeah, I think to qualify as baking, you actually have to create the ingredients.
What's the difference between calendar and calendar? Marie Callender is the company that makes pies. A calendar is what Sharon uses as an oven timer. There's, just some great ones. It's like a picture of an overpass where it says preheat the oven to 375, yeet pie into the sun, Sharon. Yeet pie, eats pie into the sun is maybe my favorite phrase of the moment. But yeah, I'll send you a link to it. If for those out there who aren't familiar, the Sharon pie postings are just absolutely phenomenal.
I'm wondering if she tried to eat the pie.
I got to find a picture of the original pie.
Like, was the pie tried?
No, I'm sure it was. It was so bad. People are like, how long did you cook this thing? I'm trying to find Sharon pie pic. If you just type in Sharon pie, surely it'll come up. Yeah, here it is. This is what the pie looked like at the end.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was bad. It was bad. Thanks, Marie Calendars. Sharon's pie, solving our gas price crisis. She just made coal.
We'll send that pie to the North Pole. That'll end up in a stocking somewhere.
There you go. Shoving Sharon's pie into somebody's stocking.
Oh, man. Well, to be honest, I'm not a pumpkin pie fan, so I'm like, that's the best thing to happen to a pumpkin pie. All right, 7:45. Let's go ahead and get you up to date with news, your Kim Commando update. We'll also get you up to date with your Chaves County Sports Report and a quick break as well. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. A shooting disturbance investigation continues in Roswell after one man was shot and wounded near the Walmart on Thursday. Chaves County Sheriff Mike Harrington said gunshots broke out between the occupants of two vehicles. It was learned during the investigation that the altercation began on Devonian Road. It came to an end in front of Berindo Elementary School on West Pine Lodge after one of the vehicles rammed into the back of the other, causing it to crash. The incident caused the Walmart, to be evacuated because of concerns of an active shooter inside, but that was never the case, Harrington said. New Mexico's top educator says a staffing crisis is the top problem facing public schools. Friday, the state's education secretary shared details of a $200 million plan to increase teacher salaries by at least 7%, part of a budget proposal that would compete for teachers with surrounding states and make it more worthwhile for people to become teachers. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's not often that I run across a real technology breakthrough, but today I have news of a revolutionary camera that literally changes everything. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by ExpressVPN. Protect your online privacy and get an extra 3 months free at expressvpn.com/Kim. Forget all you know about cameras and lenses. An incredibly smart team of scientists at Princeton and the University of Washington have developed a working camera made entirely of glass and no bigger than a grain of salt. That's 1 millimeter across. Instead of a lens system, there are 1.6 million tiny glass posts, each the size of a single coronavirus. The posts are like tiny antennas, interacting with the wavelength of light. Each antenna sends its signal to a computer chip that assembles a complete image, far outperforming the quality of an iPhone camera. The small glass chip is inexpensive to manufacture. It's not often that we see a breakthrough of this magnitude, but this tiny camera and its new technology will change everything. Stay up to date at Commando.com. If you have ever wanted to make your home feel safer, there's no better time than now. This week, my friends at Simply Safe are giving my listeners 40% off their award-winning home security. I love Simply Safe because it has everything you need to make your home safe. Indoor and outdoor cameras, it's comprehensive sensors, all monitored around the clock by trained professionals who send help the instant you need it. That literally Simply Safe was even named Best Home Security System of 2021 by U.S. News and World Report. You can easily customize the system for your home online in minutes. These are Simply Safe's biggest discounts of the year. Get a complete home security system starting just over $100 with no long-term contracts or commitments. Take advantage of Simply Safe's early holiday deals and get 40% off your new home security system by visiting simplysafekim.com. Again, that's simplysafekim.com for 40% off your system. simplysafekim.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty cool today. We'll stay in the low 50s for the afternoon high with high pressure moving into our area behind behind last night's cold front. The weather pattern looks fair, though, mostly sunny through the afternoon hours. Overnight will be clear and chilly with lows in the upper 20s to around 30, and then we'll start to warm up tomorrow. Highs 65 to 70 and sunny. Will be in the 70s on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. It's off to the National Junior College Championship game in football for the NMMI Broncos. So over the weekend, it was NMMI. This was actually on Sunday. NMMI defeated Northwest Mississippi Community College 49-30. NMMI is seated second in the playoffs. Will now take on number 1 Iowa Western Community College, which squeaked by Snow College. This national championship game will be on December the 17th in Little Rock, Arkansas. Now, some of these stats, well, one in particular, are a little bit hard to fathom. Anthony Grant from NMMI, their running back, ran for 398 yards and 5 touchdowns. He had one 88-yard touchdown run. Yeah, that'll help, but he still ran for 300 more. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm John Scott. Wall Street closed out a bumpy week with more losses following a mixed reading on U.S. jobs. Markets that investors said was tough to parse. The S&P 500 gave up an early gain and closed 0.8% lower. The benchmark index is coming off a jolting stretch where it swerved by at least 1.2% in 5 straight days, pounded by uncertainty about how the newest coronavirus variant and about when the Federal Reserve will halt its support for markets. The Dow was down 59 points to 34,580. The Nasdaq dropped 295 to 15,085. The S&P 500 lost 38 points to 4,538. New York oil fell 24 cents to $66.26 a barrel. With business, I'm John Scott.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you could call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers. Having trouble keeping up with the conversation? Here on Earth Hearing Center can help. Here on Earth is locally owned and operated and have been serving Southeast New Mexico since 1955. Let their experience help you with a free hearing assessment. If you do need a hearing device, they will guide you through every step of the process. They accept all types of insurance, including Medicaid, and all of their devices are made right here in the USA. Call and schedule your appointment today, 575-622-0375, or come by 2800 North Main, Suite 2, across from Target in Roswell. Here on Earth Hearing Center, get back in the conversation.
Mays Lumber has all the hard-to-find hardwood you've been looking for. Oak, cherry, walnut, poplar, and maple. Plus, hard-to-find exotic woods like purple heart, zebra wood, ambrosia maple, black limba, and bloodwood. Perfect for that one-of-a-kind gift piece or table. Get ready with Formica and Wilson Art countertops in 12-footer custom length with installation available. Make it happen at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, serving southeastern New Mexico and beyond since 1934.
Eastern New Mexico University basketball is back on the hardwood as they continue their home schedule versus Champion Christian Thursday, December 16th for Youth Day at 10 a.m. and noon. And the men's team takes on Cameron University Saturday, December 18th at 4 p.m. You don't want to miss out on all the high-flying excitement as the men's and women's teams begin their journeys towards a Lone Star Conference Championship and postseason play. Tickets are only $5 for adults. Kids 8 and under are free. Visit GoEasternAthletics.com for more information. ENMU men's and women's basketball, all in.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Slugs have 4 noses, but no fingers to pick them. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 7:54. Got a few minutes here before we hit you in news in the 8 o'clock hour. Next hour, we're going to play our interview we had on Friday. We had Roswell High wrestling coach Jesse Boggs join us here and talking about the big Rumble in the Desert happening out at the Wool Bowl tomorrow. Roswell High School and Goddard High School are squaring off in a wrestling match at the Wool Bowl. They're going to take, like they did a couple months ago, had a great event out there where they're going to do it again tomorrow. They're going to basically drag the Goddard High mat and the Roswell High big wrestling mats. They're going to put them right there in the middle of the football field and have a big wrestling match. Get your tickets. You can get them online, get that there. But we're going to play that interview with head coach of the Roswell High wrestling team, Jesse Boggs, next. We'll play that for you next hour. Talk wrestling. Had some fun with that. So I encourage you to go out and enjoy some wrestling tomorrow, too. So we're going to play that interview for you tomorrow here next hour. As I mentioned earlier, we were talking about football and had the high school all-star games. NMMI got the big victory on Sunday. They advance to the championship game for the NCJAA championships. That's pretty awesome. That'll take place, I'm guessing, this weekend here. As soon as I get more information about dates, times, and the all that stuff, I'll share that along. I haven't really looked online yet to see if they've got that set, but I'll check it out and get that information to you. One thing, speaking of more football, I was happy yesterday because for folks that listen in any regular amount here, know that I'm a fan of the Washington football team, as they call themselves now. They played the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, not the Oakland or Los Angeles Raiders, but the Las Vegas Raiders, and got the win there. And it was fun to watch that game. It was, it's neat for me. As being a Washington fan, I've been a Washington fan since I was a little kid. Back when John Riggins played for them, and they beat the Dolphins in the Super Bowl, and what was that, 83, I think. I've been a fan since then. That's when I was 9-10 years old when that happened. And ever since then, I've been a lifelong Washington Redskins fan. That's, growing up as a Redskins fan. And now the football team, Washington, and whatever they're going to change the name to next year. I think last I heard, they're going to announce a new name in January of 22. So I guess after the season, probably before the Super Bowl, something like that. But anyway, they're on a 4-game winning streak. And Taylor Heineke is the quarterback. Now, he came to the team last year during all the COVID nonsense. He was a year ago. He was actually going to college and living on his sister's couch. He was a college football quarterback, never got drafted, all that good stuff. And somehow he got on Scott Turner, the offensive coordinator for Washington's radar, and so they signed him as an emergency backup quarterback during COVID a year ago. And, of course, Alex Smith and everybody got hurt. And before we knew it, Taylor Heineke was our starting quarterback, and he had to start in the playoffs last year against the eventual Super Bowl champ Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady. But in all fairness, I think in the Bucs playoff run last year, the most competitive game they had was their first round victory over Washington. Taylor almost beat them. And so he was not going to be our starter. They signed Fitzpatrick, and then he got hurt game 1, and guess what? Here comes Taylor Heineke back in, and he was a little rough first 2 games there. But now he's just one of those guys that he's been told no. He's like a real life Rudy. That's really he's like 6 foot even. He's small for a quarterback. He's all the skill set things that they benchmark for quarterbacks. He doesn't meet. He's not the prototypical anything, nothing. But the one thing he's off the charts on is heart and guts. That just like Rudy, you know what I mean? He's a guy. Except the problem is his heart and guts give him skill set, and unlike Rudy, who just got on the field and got the sack or whatever. But Heineke is got some skills. But anyway, he literally has taken this team on his back, and he wins ugly. It doesn't, he'll chuck it sideways. He's gotten all the stuff that they say is like, well, that's a faux pas. You shouldn't do that. He's like, I'm trying to win a football game. I'm doing whatever I can. His favorite player was Brett Favre growing up, and so he plays with that Brett Favre mindset for folks that grew up watching Brett Favre play football. He was very much that same way. He was that leader on the field, but at the same time, he's going to take gambles. He's going to risk. Brett Favre won a lot of football games, but he threw a lot of picks too because, he was trying to do things above and beyond. And Heineke's that same vein. He plays that same way. I mean, every once in a while he throws some bonehead things and does. I mean, he's not Drew Brees. He hasn't got that pedigree or whatever. But the guy's just winning, and it's one of those things you're like, okay, we need to find the quarterback of the future, but do we? We got this guy who just keeps winning, and he's not the sexy first round pick and all-star looking, strapping tall. He's just a guy that gets out. He's a workaday, but he's something that I think Washington embraces. But anyway, here's some news. We'll be back. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Still a lot the experts don't know about the new coronavirus variant that continues spreading worldwide, including in the U.S., where it has now been detected in 17 states.
The jury is still out on how much protection vaccines offer when it comes to the Omicron variant. That question put to NIH Director Dr. Francis Collins.
We think they're probably going to be useful, but just how useful? That's an answer everybody wants. The scientists are all over this. We were kind of expecting that this would come along at some point. People are hard at work 24/7 to get those answers.
Collins is also expecting more variants.
To the extent that that's going to keep happening, if we don't have adequate immune protection across the globe, we're probably going to see something, and we'll have to use some of the other letters in the Greek alphabet.
Collins appeared on NBC's Meet the Press. I'm Shelley Adler.
Professor Sarah Gilbert, one of the researchers behind the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID vaccine, warns next pandemic could be more contagious, perhaps more deadly, unless more money is spent on research and preparations to fight emerging viral threats. Former U.S. presidents paying tribute to former Republican Senator and presidential candidate Bob Dole. He died over the weekend at age 98.
Donald Trump remembered Dole as an American war hero and true patriot for our nation. Bill Clinton called Dole a statesman and hailed him as a politician who put country over party. George W. Bush said Dole represented the finest of American values and said he will always remember Bob's salute to my late dad at the Capitol. And Bill Clinton paid tribute to Dole by saying he dedicated his entire life to serving the American people. Greg Clugston, the White House.
A three-party deal to form a new German government under center-left leader Olaf Scholz cleared its final hurdle, setting the stage for Scholz to succeed longtime Chancellor Angela Merkel this week. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
Japan's northern island of Hokkaido, the scene of a major military drill.
This exercise marks a display of military power that coincides with a recent escalation of Chinese and Russian military moves around Japanese territory. So far, Japan has focused on its defensive capabilities and has carefully avoided using the word military for its troops. But officials in Tokyo are pushing citizens to put aside widespread unease over a more robust military.
That's correspondent Andrew Stewart. Human rights groups condemning the 4-year prison term imposed on Myanmar's deposed civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi by a special court. The trial has been widely criticized as another attempt by the country's military rulers to roll back the democratic reforms of recent years. The 76-year-old Suu Kyi, ousted in a de facto coup this year, was convicted of incitement and another charge. News and analysis, townhall.com. 10 people on a Norwegian Cruise Line's ship that docked in New Orleans testing positive for COVID-19.
The Louisiana Department of Health says the Norwegian Breakaway departed New Orleans on November 28th. In the past week, the ship making stops in Belize, Honduras, and Mexico. More than 3,200 people are on board that vessel, and prior to disembarking in New Orleans, each person on board will be tested for the virus. Jason Walker reporting.
Firm countermeasures, that's what China is promising should the U.S. go ahead with the diplomatic boycott of February's Beijing Winter Olympic Games. President Biden mulling a boycott under which American athletes would still be able to compete. Watching Wall Street this morning, stocks are mixed at the moment. The Dow is up 451 points, while the NASDAQ is 58 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2 of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Yeah.
I feel like it's a hate crime.
It could be. Could be. Very.
Some carnivore comes in here just super anti-vegan. Shoot, you sunflowers.
Speaking of anti-vegan.
All right.
I saw a story online on Facebook.
Okay.
One of those like magic quiz-esque type stories.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And one where you don't really read because it's 7 hours of filler until you get to the point of it at the end.
Right.
But you see the headline and you're like, okay. And this one was apparently some McDonald's in places offer veggie burgers. Some kind of veggie burger.
I've heard there's some places.
Yeah. But anyway,
test markets.
Some lady ordered some veggie burger and got not veggie burger.
Oh.
And she like threw up and wanted to sue and complained it traumatized her and all this, and then the internet pretty much got a hold of her.
Roasted her.
Look, I get, and at first you felt bad for her. It's like she got the wrong order.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, you know, it happens. You get the wrong order. It was a mistake. But she turned it into like, oh my gosh, I'm going to I'm throwing up, I'm sick. You could really hurt people doing
beef
this.
Particles into my body.
Yeah.
Now, I understand there are some people who literally are allergic to red meat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get that. Like, if you are allergic, like, you know, Jazz is a prime example. She can't have red meat.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, I've done for example, Impossible Whopper. You know, like I'll go and I'll get a Whopper for myself and get her an Impossible. She tried it and, you know, thought it was great. But yeah, sometimes because she likes red meat so much, she'll still indulge. She'll
I get all that.
Suffer through it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, even if you're allergic, she's allergic and she'll still suffer through it sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's that good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know what this lady's
making
story
a
is.
massive deal out of absolutely nothing. Because even if you're allergic to it, your body can stomach it a little bit.
That's the point I'm making.
You freak show.
Looks like someone looking for a payday.
Right. I was agreeing with you. Just it took me a couple steps.
Those kind of people I have no time for. If you want to try to exploit mistakes of others to destroy them and make yourself better, I ain't got no time for you.
Right.
You can find a long period, or a short period, take a long walk off, as far as I'm concerned. But
it just reminds me of that at Ron White bit.
Oh yeah,
he talks about the vegan.
I'm eating the cows. What are you doing to save the environment? I'm eating the cow.
I'm taking care of the methane. But no, the bit where he talks about his friend ate the soup and had the beef broth in it.
Yeah.
Your body's kicking back broth? You're a manly man.
Right? Valid point. But yeah, I saw that article. So I wasn't going to say nothing, but when you mentioned that, it kind of reminded me of it. So happy Monday, everybody. Hey, don't forget, this is the final day for you to get in on, well, actually, final 24 hours.
Yes.
Monday, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Historical site for Southeast New Mexico's big silent auction will be concluded. Now, you can go to roswellnmhistory.org and check out the silent auction items. There's some great stuff, some Brighton purses, bath and body collection, the pet collections for you pet lovers out there, amazing artwork. Also, don't forget the Peter de la Fuente has donated another beautiful print. You can call Amy at the Historical Society right now for more details on that one, 575-915-4471. And so, like, he donated one, and it was, like, bought. Like, it didn't even get a chance to really go auction. They just buy it now, and they bought it. And so Peter de la Fuente donated the second one.
Nice.
And so, but call Amy at the Historical Society for details, 575-915-4471. There's also beautiful artwork from Greg Birch available as part of this auction as well. Again, go check it out at roswellnmhistory.org, and then click on the link there at the main front of the page there for the silent auction. It'll take you right there. You can get your bidding, but don't forget, the bidding closes tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Get it done.
Por favor. Some great stuff for Christmas Day.
Absolutely. And it all goes to a great cause. You know, we're just trying to put a roof back on the building.
Yep, to cover that big giant head of this thing.
There's a whole discussion this weekend about big flat mics, big flat legs. And
he's been popular this weekend. Like a lot of people saw him in the studio, and we're kind of like, of course, the folks calling the All-Star game. They were up here and got to see that thing, and they love big flat mic, and everyone loves it, but me.
What I think we need to do is honestly like utilize it, like start putting it up in like clients.
Oh yeah, we're down for that. If you want this,
come
thing
by
in
and
your
see
business,
big flat. Get your picture taken with big flat mic.
I'd love to have you have it because that means it's not here, which makes me happy. So.
And we can even have packages like you can have just big flat mic with the yarmulke. You can have big flat mic doing like live-ins where you could like do a FOMO style pre-records and have a big flat mic on location.
I think we should do the old school Conan O'Brien bit, and we can cut the mouth and have him talk. And just have him say things that I normally wouldn't say.
What you do is you would tape like an Android phone just over the mouth.
There you go.
Now, something that's not super expensive. That's why I went with an Android. And then just download like a mouth app and then
get an Alcatel something or another.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
That one phone they give you if you just sign up for a plan. It's like, we got a bunch of these just laying around. Have this one.
Here's a brick for you. A brick with a screen.
Yeah.
A very unresponsive screen.
I got to be honest, the older I get, the less I don't want my smartphone anymore.
Yeah?
I don't want to be that.
So wait, you're telling me you're literally like morphing into the jitterbug generation?
I think so.
Before
I'm just tired of it. I'm sick of it.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because I was a thought that occurred to me is years and years ago, I had a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
This was like right when BlackBerries weren't as popular, like right when smartphones started becoming a thing.
Yeah.
And I was kind of sold on my BlackBerry. I was like, I don't necessarily think I ever want a touch screen. I like the ball. I like the tactile feel of the keys. You couldn't ask me to go back to clicking keys now to actually type. That would be so arduous to actually push the buttons.
Yeah.
Oh my, that would take so long.
I just don't like the
T9. Do you remember T9?
Yeah.
Dude, that was the worst.
I had one of those Palm
Pilots?
Yeah, I don't think it was a Pilot. There was another. It was a Trio, Palm Trio. That's the one I had.
The off-brand?
Yeah. It was a smaller version of it. Then technically that was my first smartphone.
Really?
Was that Palm Trio.
Nice.
Because right after that I got an Android phone that I had about 6 months and didn't like. It didn't work right. It was like first generation Android.
My first smartphone, I almost walked into it with the wrong one. So I'll never take a smartphone again. My first smartphone was a Windows phone.
I remember you talking about your Windows phone.
Boy,
you're like the one guy I know that had one.
Yeah, because I was the personal spokesperson for the Nokia Lumia 900. So boy, did I have to be enthusiastic about that son of a gun.
You were like the one guy I knew that had a Windows phone.
Look at this haptic response. Can you play Angry Birds on it? Well, not yet, but they'll get it on the store eventually. That's
you know what?
Point.
I take that back. I knew one other person that had a Windows phone. And they're one of those people we call, they don't have the social skills.
Oh, did Tim have a Windows phone too? Or?
No, different guy with a social skills. Had a Windows phone as well. I'm not going to say their name.
Are his initials KB by chance?
No.
Okay.
No.
There was a recent KB sighting actually.
Really?
Yeah, he was at a play over the weekend. Turns out, came out to see his nephew.
Well, good for that person.
Oh, KB.
Yeah.
Not that KB, another KB.
No, I can do this, and I don't know if you're going to catch it if it's too obscure even for you. Woohoo! Shamon.
Michael Jackson? Oh, okay. No, I can. Sometimes you blow the. Yeah. Fair enough.
Windows phone owner.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, for a bit.
Okay. So what you're saying, he didn't have all bad taste. Some of him was okay. It sounds like this guy was just all right.
When he wasn't creeping out one room at a time, he was on his Windows phone.
Okay. Fair enough. Shamon.
Oh, man. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We get you up to date with the weather here. Sorry, there's a lot of inside baseball there. That's my apologies. I don't like to do it too much, but sometimes you just can't help it. It was there. We'll get you up to date with the weather. Spoiler alert, cooler today. And it's a little roller coastery this week. Like, it's going to be back in the 60s and 70s midweek, and then like this weekend we're back down in the 50s again. So it's it's December, man.
It's late fall in southeastern New Mexico. It's what we do.
Yeah. So we'll get you up to date with that here in just a bit. Then, like I said, in a little bit here, we're going to play our interview with head coach of the Roswell High wrestling team, Jesse Boggs, talking about the big Rumble in the Desert tomorrow at the Wool Bowl as Goddard and Roswell square off in a big wrestling match. Should be a lot of fun there. So we're going to talk. We talked about that. We're going to play it for you here in just a few. Later on, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety, your town hall business update, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Recap before we do anything else. Let's sham on into the weather.
One sequined glove.
Who's bad?
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty cool today. We'll stay in the low 50s for the afternoon high with high pressure moving into our area behind last night's cold front. The weather pattern looks fair, though, mostly sunny through the afternoon hours. Overnight will be clear and chilly with lows in the upper 20s to around 30, and then we'll start to warm up tomorrow. Highs 65 to 70 and sunny. We'll be in the 70s on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 31 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 42%. Winds currently out of the northwest at 7 miles per hour. Sunny today, not so much warm. Highs only expected to hit maybe 50, 49 officially with north winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear. Looking at an overnight low of 27. Yeah, going to be chilly overnight tonight. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, we're back up into the mid-60s, mostly sunny 66 tomorrow. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 31, so still below freezing for an overnight. West winds 5 to 10. Wednesday, sunny skies. Highs back into the low 70s, 72 for a high on Wednesday with southwest winds 5 to 15. Wednesday night, clear skies. Overnight low of 36. Thursday, once again, sunny, highs low 70s, once again right around 72. Friday, partly cloudy and windy, highs in the upper 60s, and then a little cooler for the weekend. Saturday, sunny, highs only expected in the mid-50s. We'll be back up into the mid-60s, 64 roughly for a high on Sunday. All right, it is 8:18. Let's go ahead and take a quick 3-minute commercial break. And then on the other side, we're going to play our interview with Coach Jesse Boggs talking about the Rumble in the Desert wrestling match between Roswell and Goddard tomorrow at the Wool Bowl. Don't go away.
You're invited. Come be a part of the grand opening celebration of the Valley Cafe on Tuesday, December 14th. Located inside the 180 Youth Building at Church on the Move on Brasher in Roswell. Enjoy soups, salads, sandwiches, burgers, and more. Try some of their signature recipes, like the sweet and spicy burger with honey jalapeno bacon barbecue sauce, Chef Anthony Noble's fried avocados, and the Smotherman burger with creamy green chili sauce. Need a morning pick-me-up? Swing by for coffee or breakfast burritos on your way to work. The all-new Valley Cafe, open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or even a snack after school.
The most wonderful sale of the century is on now at Roswell Nissan for 6 days only. Prices slashed across the lot, 0 down, and no payments for 90 days. Get a 2017 Sentra for just $219 a month, a 2013 Civic for just $199 a month, or a 2011 Hyundai Tucson for just $169 a month. Play Lucky Lotto to win cash and prizes and register to win a brand new, hard-to-find Xbox Series X. Drawing Saturday, December 11th, 1 p.m. Must be present to win. The most wonderful sale of the century on now at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Have you been dealing with stress or anxiety lately? Don't let that stop you from getting the dental work done that you know needs to happen. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and every day we help people just like you have a relaxing and pain-free experience with IV sedation. Just imagine a dental experience where you don't remember the needles or the drills. If that's what you're looking for, we can help. Let us ease your stress and create the best dental experience ever.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main or call 622-4455.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed. Also, the Army National Guard's education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in studio this morning, head coach of the Roswell High wrestling team, Coach Jesse Boggs with us. Morning, Coach.
Morning.
How you doing today?
Well, I'm a little confused. I thought I was coming in to get some tables and chairs.
Well, you know, I was expecting like a music lead-in and perhaps, some kind of chair or board or something with you. But my left all that at home.
My outfit's actually at the cleaners right now, so.
Well, it's got to be clean. It's got to be fresh for Tuesday.
That's right.
We kid, of course. But, Coach, hey, first, thanks for spending some time with us. Appreciate this. And we wrestling is, to me, because wrestling is, when I grew up in Maryland and football was not the main sport. We had a bigger wrestling program in our school than we did football. I mean, we had football and it was there, but we would have, like, we even had, like, in-school assemblies, and they would, like, basically shut down the school at, like, 1 o'clock, and everyone would go for a big wrestling tournament for a couple hours in the gym for the afternoon. It was that big, they had pep rallies and all that. And then when it came out to New Mexico, I've noticed that, football's bigger king here, but a lot of schools have opted to not go with the wrestling program because they're focusing on football or whatever. So it's pretty cool that Roswell High A has a wrestling program, but but and like yourself, thriving and able to go and do these things where we kind of live in a world where it's not as popular as other areas.
Yeah, no, I think that it's definitely a very proud tradition back east and in the Midwest certainly, but in New Mexico it's really ebbed and flowed. It really died down a lot in the 90s. What's great about Roswell, the town, is that Goddard High School and Roswell High School have always had a program, and Goddard High School has been really successful for the past 30 years of wrestling. So they've been a school that coming up, is going to produce good wrestlers. And so the town's been I've been lucky as a coach to come to a town that's really had those established.
Sure.
And there's a small community that keeps it going. And I think really too what we're seeing now with the growth of wrestling is UFC, right? So all of a sudden people want to do UFC, they want to do jiu-jitsu, and so that's led more people to try maybe think about, hey, I can wrestle because that's a skill you need if you want to be a fighter.
Sure.
And then as we were talking a little bit, during the break, girls wrestling is exploding right now.
And that's curious. And I do want to, of course, I don't want to overshadow what we're promoting here, but on Tuesday, Roswell Goddard squaring off the Duel in the Desert. What time is that? Where's it happening? And what's in the world of COVID? What's the best way to get tickets and things now?
So first, bring a coat.
Okay.
We're going to be at the Wool Bowl.
Cool.
So we're going to throw down half of Goddard's wrestling mat and half of our Roswell High wrestling mat together. So it'll be a split mat.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to start at 5 p.m. I know that's early. I know some people, they got to maybe see
about it's still going to be dark about 5.
Right.
So if you want to do your entrance music.
That's right.
And you walk in.
That's right. I need a spotlight person. So if you're available, let me know. But it'll be at 5 p.m. That way, it's not too cold by the time we get finished. Coach Nick Archuleta of Goddard High School and myself, we try to keep it under an hour and a half. We know people want to be entertained.
Sure.
So I think it was funny, like you guys talking about before I came on, about the entertainment side, and that really is something I try to promote with wrestling. Most people who are coming to a match, they don't want to watch 4 hours of wrestling. They don't understand, which is fine. You got to educate them a little bit.
Yeah.
So we just want to make it an event. We're going to have the band there. We're going to have the Angels there. We're going to try. I'm always trying to get other clubs involved.
Cool. Yeah.
To promote them and just make it a community event.
Yeah. Well, it's good for exposure for everybody, and that's just it. We want to give as big a spotlight as we can to these kids, and if it's to bring more to the party to do that, then let's do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's the perfect venue to kind of highlight the others. Activities and clubs on campus as well.
Good deal. So I'm trying to put a visual on this, because obviously a football field's the 100 yards there. If you've never seen a competition wrestling mat, it's quite large, and it's so 2 of those that probably eats up probably 2/3 of that football field, probably when all said and done, huh?
Well, maybe a little bit. Yeah, there's a standard mat can range.
I'm trying to think because every time I think it's in a basketball gym usually, and it almost fills up the whole gym.
Right. So a standard mat's a 40 by 40 square, give or take. Because they can be a little bit smaller, or a little bit bigger, but that's the standard size. And so, like you were talking about the COVID thing, what we're really looking forward to once a lot of these COVID restrictions are lifted. Is trying to put students on the football field and just doing a little, like you're saying, just doing a little different experience, giving them a different perspective.
Well, that's almost like playing in a stadium. I mean, if you want to get WWE, that's about as close you're going to get to the world of wrestling,
right? And like saying, the kids kids love the hype music; they love all that. So as we build it, those are the little things we're trying to add in,
make it a fun experience for them. And now, obviously, for folks that aren't familiar. Wrestling, high school, college, that the competitive Olympic wrestling is nothing like WWE and all that. It's scored, standardized moves. They don't come out in leather and ladders and stuff. It's very it's steeped in tradition back to the Greek, Roman, and all of that times and things like that. And so the tradition there is really the wrestling you watch on TV is kind of an homage to that. Really,
that's the nice thing.
The other way around,
Yeah, that's the nice thing about mixed martial arts is it's really helped people get a better picture of it. Where there used to be in the past, I'll still get a couple, but get a couple kids who come in and they're wondering if they actually have to learn how to hit with a chair or those kind of things. I say, no, it's not that kind of wrestling. Yeah. But with the growth of MMA, they understand now. It's this ability to take someone down and control them.
Well, now I'm kind of curious too. Are a lot of your wrestlers now? Because when we're in school, they're wrestling, to wrestle, or maybe some would use it for football or whatever. For the most part, it's there to wrestle. But are some of your athletes that are coming through, is there aspirations to do MMA, and so they're doing the wrestling to get that base under there? Because like you said, regardless of which way you go in MMA, as far as your fighting styles are, wrestling is part of the grappling side of it. That's all taught in wrestling. That's not taught in the martial arts side generally. That's all in wrestling. So they got to have that regardless of what they do in MMA.
Yeah. So I have a sign on my door of the wrestling room at Roswell High that shows the number of UFC champions, and most of those guys have a wrestling background.
Yeah.
And so I promote it that way to the kids, and also, boxing is big in this town, and so a lot of kids like to box, and so I transition and say, hey, I don't want you to quit boxing, but I want you to come in and compete for us as well, because it'll round you out more if you really enjoy the fighting. So
well, and say you're looking this to be in better shape, and you're looking for the self-defense side of things and all that. The more tools in the tool bag there, the better off you're protected and things. So why, if you're pursuing and saying, you know what, I'm learning karate to protect myself, well, great, let's add that wrestling, because guess what? That all is tied together. It's all, because there's sometimes you might be in a scenario where what they teach you in karate is not going to help you, but that wrestling will come in very handy in that particular moment. So,
yeah, it turns out we're not as coordinated as we think we are. So being able to move on the ground is kind of important.
Sure, absolutely. And to be honest, because that's in wrestling, like when you get in the submission holds and things like that, that's when you think, okay, this is about to be done. But in wrestling, oh, no. Not necessarily. That's the escape, the whole that, and that's where the techniques come in, and and so you see, like you see on the TV wrestling here, and we put him in the figure 4 or whatever it is, and it's a submission move. Well, in real world wrestling, there's some moves like that. It's lights out, it's game over. But in like this kind of high school style of wrestling, no, all those moves are escapable and things. It's not like the arm bend in MMA. They put you in a certain move here that. Yeah, it's very hard to get out, but there is a way if you know technique. And that's what it's about.
One of my favorite things to hear is from students who come in and they think it's going to be very simplistic, very, very caveman-like in terms of I take him down and that's it.
Yeah.
But then they really fall in love with the technique of it, because there is so much technique and there's correct things to do and leverage and positioning that goes into it. So really, it's a highly technical sport.
Yeah. It's almost like, because we talk martial arts, but at the end of the day, it's arts, right?
Right.
Wrestling arts would probably be a more appropriate term for it, because it is an art form. It's a way of, yes, it's physicality. It is an opposing of wills and strength. There's all about that in wrestling, but there's still, the little guy can still, if the little guy has the technique, he's going to beat the big guy every time on that, because it's not almost what you can do, it's what you know sometimes, and that's life. It's experience and everything else.
And that's absolutely why I love coaching wrestling. Wrestling is you can be losing by a lot, but if you can have the determination and the will, and like you're saying, the technique and the determination, you're going to be able to come back and win. And
sure.
So, I always love that about wrestling. You can be losing last second, but if you can, pull out a upset and pin the person, you win. So
it's
that's
a sport of momentum.
Exactly.
It really is. So I do want to talk about women's wrestling here, because you're also coaching women's wrestling. Again, some guy my age, this is new, so we've never seen it before. It's great to see we have now a women's program where women can do the same things men can do in wrestling. That's awesome. But I'm curious, as a coach, is it the same job to coach women's wrestling as it is men's wrestling, or is it a different animal? Because I imagine it's got to be different, just because body parts are different. Techniques probably change, when you're wrestling a male versus a female, because, but I'm just saying the physicality is different,
Yeah, that's what's kind of interesting, actually, is you would think that. But when it comes to wrestling, the techniques are the same, because the throws and so forth stay the same, simply because they're going to be wrestling same strength for strength. So
gotcha.
For a long time, it was girls had to wrestle boys, and there were girls who were able to compete and be state placers and really do well. But now with the MMA sanctioning girls wrestling, now they're wrestling girls that are their same weight and same size and same strength. And so really girls wrestling is, in the same sense as competitive and technically challenging as boys. And
sure.
So, it's really great that it's growing. We see, I tell girls all the time, if, and any moms or dads out there listening that, your child likes your daughter particularly likes, those kind of combative or challenging sports, colleges are desperately looking for girls with college experience. It is, if you just Google girls program wrestling, you will find new programs popping up all over the country.
That's great to see.
Yeah, and so there's just a desperate need, supply and demand going on right now, where you can walk on and be guaranteed a spot. But more likely, if they like what you're doing and they think you have the technique ability, they can offer you scholarships. They can try to bring you on, to pay for your schooling. So that's a really great avenue that I always try to push with my girls.
And this is getting a little philosophical, but I'm kind of curious just by looking at men and women and their roles in other sports and things like that. And I'm kind of curious if you think, or you're starting to see, maybe advancements in women's wrestling that you won't see in men's wrestling. And what I mean by that is, like, say, I'll just pick golf, because that's another sport. You have men's golf, women's golf. But generally speaking, the men are by nature stronger, more physical beings than women. So they're going to drive the ball harder. They're going to do things but women, they do, it's a little bit different. Where in wrestling, I mean, you got the strength side, but there's so much with the technique and flexibility and the stretching side. And by nature, women are generally more flexible, more bendy than guys are. It's just the part of the DNA. So I'm wondering if that's going to bring a level to women's wrestling that maybe men's wrestling won't get to at some point. Am I even warm on something like that, or am I just out of left field here?
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of the draw for women's wrestling is they do throw, certainly, but they shoot a lot more, I would say. But what makes the shooting, when I say shooting, just to clarify for the listeners, that means to get to the legs. They're able to bend a lot more flex, and so you really see a lot of, we call it funky positioning, meaning it's not orthodox in terms of traditional wrestling, but a lot of those girls know how to be in uncomfortable positions and work out and get the takedown, get the points, put their opponent on their back or secure control. It is interesting in that sense, because you see a lot, the weight class are set up to where it's a lot of fast-paced offensive action.
Sure.
So, if you're just thinking it's a bunch of just stand around, it's really fast-paced.
No, it's constant cat and mouse moving back and forth. And sometimes, and I got to be honest, every time I've watched, collegiate high school wrestling, anything like that, a lot of times the moves that end it happen so fast you didn't realize what you just saw happen. You know what I mean? It's inside game or it's something. And you're like, 1 minute they're one way, and then you look one way, turn back, next thing it just flip flopped, and it happened so quick you didn't even catch all that went on there. And that's wrestling.
Yeah, and that's what we try to tell people. They tend to think of wrestling as checkers, but it's really like chess. Like, you've got to be thinking 3-4 moves ahead, because when you get to this position, well, what's that going to do to your opponent? What's going to be their most natural reaction? And then what are you going to do with that natural reaction they have? So we're always trying to get our kids to, we call it chain wrestling, right? What's next? Think of that next move and get there from the first position.
Well, and it's true in any sport. I mean, you can have the brute strength, the brute talent there, but if you're not putting the brains and the skill behind it, you're only going so far. I mean, I don't care what sport it is. If you're a football player and you're the biggest, strongest person out there, but if you don't understand the concepts of football, but you just maul people, you're not going to be a very good football player. You may maul a bunch of people, but same thing with wrestling. You may be able to overpower a couple people in the first few matches, but the person that's the same size as you, which they all are, and that's weight classes, that has that's a little more savvy. They're gonna take you out every time, no matter how strong you are, no matter how unstoppable you think you are. The crafty person that knows the skills, that knows the technique, they're gonna beat you every time.
There's a big movement going on in the collegiate level, but with high school, a little obviously different. But you're talking about in the weight classes. In college, it's 285 is the most you can weigh to be a heavyweight.
Okay.
And so you see a trend right now of guys that are a lot smaller and more technically sound than these big brutes who just go out there and, like you're saying, maul people.
Sure.
So that's really what we try to teach them. I with my heavyweights, we certainly, teach them moves that are heavyweight friendly, but I also tell them, like, hey, you got to learn to wrestle like a little guy.
Sure.
Because that's how you're going to be a state placer, a state champ. So that makes all the difference.
Sure. Now, don't get me wrong. As you watch the weight classes, you're going to see generally they do the lighter, and then they get to the heavyweights by the end there. The lighter classes, they fly around a lot faster than they do the big boys, and that's you can't do nothing about that. That's God, that's science. But you're right, it is more technical and more. It's not just because I even remember, back in high school, especially some you get to the heavyweight, it's like, hey, that kid's just a mountain. Let's sign him up for wrestling. That's not true anymore. That's not how it is. Like basketball, we used to be like, oh, you got a 7 foot tall kid? Yeah, let's sign him. I don't care that he has no skill. He's 7 foot tall. No, not nowadays. They'll take the 6 foot kid that's got skills over the 7 foot tree that can't do much than stand there.
And that's one of the reasons I love coaching wrestling, because like you're saying, like it's not big in New Mexico, so my team this year is very young, but it's almost always comprised, or this whole is mostly guys who've not had any experience. They've never wrestled once in their life. And so that's one of the best things, is seeing guys who they're not maybe the most athletically gifted get that, wow, like if I put in the work, I can actually be an accomplished wrestler.
And I was talking earlier, and I kind of want to talk about that nowadays, because I was saying, when I grew up as a kid and I had friends going through wrestling, the hard work and dedication seemed like it was always 10 times more commitment than it seemed like other sports. Is that just an impression I got and it's not accurate? They're all or is it take a special breed to be a wrestler?
So we talked a little about this during the break, and you were talking about that when you had wrestling back in high school, those guys had to cut a lot of weight, and there was a lot of the malnutrition, I think, going on during those times.
Sure. A lot of bad
coaching. No,
bad ideology.
That's very.
But I don't think it was bad because that's just what they knew. You know what I mean? It wasn't they were tending to be bad. Hey, this is how it succeeded in the past. This is how we do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now that's really changed. And I think that's the, that's the benefit of like getting guys out to wrestle, and that's why I think every, football team in the state of Mexico should have a wrestling team, because if they're doing it right, the football coach is going to 100% buy in. He's going to be excited to have his guys wrestle, because one of the things we really preach in wrestling is toughness every day. We want to struggle every day in the wrestling room.
And I would imagine there's probably some offensive line and defensive line coaches that probably could use some of the skill sets you're teaching the wrestlers. In the trenches there. I imagine some of those moves, because obviously they can't hold in certain things, but it's all about leverage and opponents and using their weight to your advantage and all that stuff. Wrestling's no different that way, and I imagine there's a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, so for the diehard college football fans, Iowa, their starting line were all wrestling champions, and so Iowa, saw the potential there to really help them.
Yeah.
There's tons of stories of that where these guys who wrestled transitioned very well to football, and so that's really what I'm a big promoter of it. Is one of my favorite things, we had a kid come recently, and he's like, Coach, this is really tough. And that's what I want to hear. I love that, because that means if I'm making it tough here, it's going to make him easier elsewhere, and he's going to have more success because he's more confident. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's something, too, I imagine you've seen in your time coaching here, because for folks that we were talking, Jesse, here before on air here, and, he's probably epitome of what he's teaching now. You grew up in the wrestling world, you coach, player, college. I mean, you've kind of done it all that you can really do in the world of, I say professional wrestling, but you know what I mean. Not WWE, but in athletic wrestling.
If they call me up for the contract, I might take it.
Hey,
but we'll talk about that when that happens.
There we go. Well, if you need like a ECW, one of these groups need a wrestler, we'll let you know here. So I will tell you, I'm not like I grew up watching that kind of wrestling when I was a kid. I haven't really watched it as an adult, but I've been hooked on, I don't know I imagine you've probably heard of these, on Vice Channel. They do a Dark Side of the Ring. It's a documentary that they kind of tell stories about the wrestling days. A lot of it's 70s, 80s stuff. But I'm enamored with those stories and that lifestyle, and just hearing the stuff that went on during those days, and the sacrifices these guys have made to be where they're at. It's really an amazing, I have so much more respect for those people. Because I mean, they all there's people that stumble. They go down paths and have things, but the amount of pressure, the amount of work, the amount of let's face it, the crap that these people have dealt with, they were a commodity to a lot of these folks, and probably still are to some extent, and so it was very wild and loose in those 70s and 80s there, and I'm sure there's still a lot of that element still in that side of it today. I'm sure it's a lot less, but after watching that, I've had such an appreciation for those guys and things, because I think a lot of us think a lot of things. Oh, wrestling's fake, and it's fake in that the outcome's predetermined. Other than that, that's the only fake thing about it. those guys are really bleeding. They're really cutting. They're really slamming. They're really doing all that stuff. It's pretty impressive. So even though I don't watch that regularly, I love the stories and love the stuff about it. I know that's a different world than what you do.
But there's still that connection. You think of, like Brock Nestor. You think of, I can't think of his Kurt Angle. Those guys who transitioned well over there because why? Well, they had that skill already built in.
Sure, they came out as Olympic wrestlers.
That's right.
And they basically turned it into the money for them.
That's right.
That. And now, and to be honest, it's more entertainment than. And what I mean by that is a lot of these guys are now turning it. Look at your John Cena's. Look at your Dwayne Johnsons. A lot of them are turning that into entertainment TV movie careers.
Yeah, and I think that's what's kind of fascinating is there's more avenues now for wrestlers. Like the sport is growing in terms of the media side of it, but still there's that entertainment side that people love to get into. And so there's a heavyweight. If you ever want to see something impressive, his name's Gable Stevenson.
I was just going to ask you about Gable Stevenson. He's actually he's in the Next in Line program with WWE.
He's the real knowledge on that.
That's why I came in because I heard you guys talking about. And have you heard about the new program that they're running with WWE, the NIL? Because now apparently they're allowing college athletes to monetize their names, likenesses, and basically make money while in college.
Basically, and take on a persona in that wrestling world while continuing their college. Right. That's pretty cool.
So some folks, some of the higher ups up at the WWE started a program called Next in Line NIL, which they're drafting college wrestlers and kind of giving them access to the Performance Center, teach them how to cut promos, do media stuff.
And like saying, Gabe Stevens is a perfect example of that. He's an Olympic champion. He's a world champion and a collegiate champion. He's only 20. He's the 265 pounds, and he can do a running full front flip and back flip.
Wow.
He's a truly amazing athlete.
It's phenomenal.
That's what's great about wrestling is you literally have guys that look like big muscle meathead dudes, and you're like, oh yeah, and then they move like gazelles, and you're like, what happened there? You're like, what happened?
And like you're saying, like in practice every day, we do tumbling. You have to know how to fall. Like
forward rolling. All that stuff. It really is a ballet. The name just escaped me too. Parker Boudreaux, another great example. I mean, it was a collegiate athlete, came up, had that very Brock Lesnar-esque look about him, and got scooped right up.
So I'm curious, how many you like your players, your girls and male athletes here? How many guys do you think are going to pursue collegiate careers in wrestling? Is some of them, like you said, a lot of these guys and athletes, this is first time wrestling. Do you think some of them might go on to do some college wrestling?
Man, I hope so.
Good.
That's always my goal. Like I said, I got my college paid for through wrestling, and so really I always promote my kids. So I know I'm a big multi-sport guy, and as a wrestling coach, you have to be. So whatever sport they want to go into, I'm always happy. But certainly, if they want to go the wrestling route.
Well, and that's the beauty of wrestling, because wrestling literally is good training for any other sport.
Exactly.
I don't care what, even if it's golf or something, it's giving you endurance. It's giving you, if you've got the legs and the energy to survive a wrestling match and not be completely drained, you're probably in pretty good shape to handle any other sport too there, because that's the hardest working, short few minutes of sport that you're ever going to have, especially I think wrestling even more so in MMA and some of those, because it's all grappling. And if you spend spend a minute just bearing strength of wills, who's going to bend first in some of these moves, that's you know how tired you are after that.
And that's one of the reasons I love wrestling. I coach football as well, and there's other sports that that are great. And I think I promote, like I said, multi-sport athlete.
Yeah.
One of the things I love at wrestling though is every day you come in, you're going to practice. You're not going to sit on the bench while the other guys are shooting the shot, and or they're hitting the ball off the tee or whatever it might be. You're grinding every day, and so that's really what I like about it is you're going to go against the varsity guys, you're going to the JV guys. So there's no just sitting around doing wrestling practice. It's you're coming and you're working out.
And I would imagine you've probably seen an improvement in overall life for your students. Like their grades are probably getting better. And what I mean by that is because wrestling, and I don't want to say this to make it sound wrong, but it makes you hard. And what I mean by that, it makes you a person of responsibility, because to succeed in wrestling, you got to have it in you. You are not succeeding. You got to reach down in your gut. I don't care what it is, if you want to have any kind of success, it's a gut check time in wrestling. It's because there's going to be a moment where it's like, do I keep fighting or do I give up? And and you're going to be tested there, and that's wrestling.
Yeah, and my model for Roswell High School wrestling is 1% better every day.
Yeah.
Because it's unrealistic to think you can get 10, even 50%, every day. That's impossible. But really, like you're saying, like at the end of the day, that's why I love the sport. Is they're going out and they're going to have to figure out, hey, I lost. Did I lose because this guy was better than me? Did I lose because I didn't actually train hard enough?
Sure.
And so it teaches them a level of accountability. I think that, we constantly talk about as adults, as these older people, like the younger people that are not accountable, they don't want these struggles. And they do.
Sure.
And so this is a helpful tool, I think, to teach them, like, hey, like if I'm failing math class, that's on me. Like I've got to pick it up.
Sure. And I also think it reminds you, it keeps people from getting overconfident too, because you can achieve success in wrestling. And if you get a point of confidence to cockiness, in wrestling, there's always someone that's better. And it's true in life and anything. There's always someone better than you. No matter how good you think you are, there's someone else that can do it better. There always is. But wrestling, I think you come across that more often than not in that sport, because, you're in your circles wrestling, and then a new school comes in, and next thing you know, you thought you had it, and this person comes in, and he's light years ahead of you. It's just that's the nature of the sport. And that's where you get, do I get better, or do I realize, you know what? I need to work harder. I'm getting overconfident. I'm getting cocky. I need to put my nose to the grindstone here.
And just like you're saying, like that's the reason I love that we have weight classes. So everything's always open in terms of, I don't have a rule of, hey, I started just upperclassmen. Like if you're an eighth, because in Roswell High, we don't have eighth grade or middle school wrestling, I should say. So in the town of Roswell, if you live in the Goddard side or the Roswell side, you can go as an eighth grader and actually compete for us.
Okay.
And so there are eighth graders who've been 5-time state champs. There are eighth graders who have gone on and been state placers. So that's what I love about it is if you are willing to put in the sweat, blood, and tears, so to speak, you can be the varsity guys in eighth grade. You can be a state placer in eighth grade. And I love that about wrestling. There's always the underdog story within wrestling. Yeah. You can always do more than anyone expected of you.
So if you're interested in becoming, if you got a student here, like you said, you can start as early as eighth grade here. Reach out here to Coach, and let's see if we can. Or if you're on the Goddard side, reach out to the Goddard side. But please, would love to see more get involved in the sport and use this as an opportunity to better yourself. Even if you're not going on to be a wrestler in college or anything, I think the skill set, the values, the lessons, it's going to make you a better adult by being a wrestler. I think because you get all the great stuff of the team building you get in team sports. But you also got those moments where you're going to get gut checks. And you need those growing up, because if you go through life without obstacles, without challenges, when you hit one, you're not going to know what to do. And that's the least we want. Last thing we want is to have someone not prepared to meet a challenge ahead. And wrestling will make sure you do that. So come on out Tuesday. Come out. What time should everyone get out there on Tuesday?
We're going to start pretty much right at 5. I try to keep in everybody's schedule in mind and respect of this.
But if you want to get you good seats and everything, get out 4:30 or so.
4:30, 4:45. Like I said, make sure you bring a jacket and maybe some hot cocoa.
Now, do they have to get tickets in advance online, or can they just come up to the gate?
No, they'll be at the gate.
Okay.
And if they're unsure, they can certainly contact RSD, and they will gladly tell them where they can get the tickets.
Very good. Good deal. I know, because some, with football, it's getting a little confusing on that and COVID and all that. But if you and that's the beauty. It's wrestling and it's outdoors. So between the visitor side and the home side, there's plenty of room to spread out everything.
We're all going to pack in on the home side just to let everybody know. And that's one of the things I love about wrestling is certainly, when Coach Archuleta's coaching against me, he wants to beat me and I want to beat him. But
sure.
We want the town to really rally together and
you both
celebrate
have the same
the
aim.
kids.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You want your side to win.
That's right.
But a wrestling match in the Wool Bowl is a win for everybody.
That's a win for everybody.
Good deal. Well, Coach, thanks for spending time. Thanks for enlightening us with some wrestling. You know what I'd love to do? Maybe in the off season here, maybe get you and the Goddard coach. We come in together and let's just BS and talk about wrestling for a little bit.
Love to.
That would be fun. We can do it as a 3 thing, and maybe y'all can talk a little smack and have some fun.
As long as I get my walk-in entry and
we can do that. Yeah, I'll get Sean on it. Y'all can have walk-in music. We can put you into leather, whatever you want.
Sean talked a good height game, but he didn't deliver this morning.
Yeah,
so.
he's got a lot. I don't know. He better bring his TLC. That's all I'm saying. Coach, as always, appreciate it. We'll see you. And have a great Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to everybody else.
Awesome.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to everybody else.
Awesome. It is not.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm John Scott. Wall Street closed out a bumpy week with more losses following a mixed reading on U.S. jobs. Markets that investors said was tough to parse. The S&P 500 gave up an early gain and closed 0.8% lower. The benchmark index is coming off a jolting stretch where it swerved by at least 1.2% in 5 straight days, pounded by uncertainty about how the newest coronavirus variant and about when the Federal Reserve will halt its support for markets. The Dow was down 59 points to 34,580. The Nasdaq dropped 295 to 15,085. The S&P 500 lost 38 points to 4,538. New York oil fell 24 cents to $66.26 a barrel. With business, I'm John Scott.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update, I'm Jared Sorello. A shooting disturbance investigation continues in Roswell after one man was shot and wounded near the Walmart on Thursday. Chavez County Sheriff Mike Harrington said gunshots broke out between the occupants of 2 vehicles. It was learned during the investigation that the altercation began on Devonian Road. It came to an end in front of Berindo Elementary School on West Pine Lodge after one of the vehicles rammed into the back of the other, causing it to crash. The incident caused the store, the Walmart, to be evacuated because of concerns of an active shooter inside, but that was never the case, Harrington said. New Mexico's top educator says a staffing crisis is the top problem facing public schools. Friday, the state's education secretary shared details of a $200 million plan to increase teacher salaries by at least 7%, part of a budget proposal that would compete for teachers with surrounding states and make it more worthwhile for people to become teachers. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Times are changing, and today's funerals aren't always the sad and solemn events you might expect. This is Gabriel Casaus from Lagrone Funeral Chapel. Along with hymns and scriptures, today's funeral services are often filled with fish stories, country songs, and a joke or two, golf clubs and hot rods, favorite recipes, and kitchen disasters. At Lagrone Funeral Chapel, we believe a funeral should reflect your loved one's personality, passion, and sense of humor. When you lose a loved one, we're here, because at Lagrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
900 South Main, Roswell.
You're invited. Come be a part of the grand opening celebration of the Valley Cafe on Tuesday, December 14th. Located inside the 180 Youth Building at Church on the Move on Brasher in Roswell. Enjoy soups, salads, sandwiches, burgers, and more. Try some of their signature recipes, like the sweet and spicy burger with honey jalapeno bacon barbecue sauce, Chef Anthony Noble's fried avocados, and the Smotherman burger with creamy green chili sauce. Need a morning pick-me-up? Swing by for coffee or breakfast burritos on your way to work. The all-new Valley Cafe, open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or even a snack after school.
Move on over to the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in downtown Roswell. The Cow is stocked with fabrics and everything you need. And the Calico Cow is your destination for brand new Brothers sewing machines. Find out more and shop online at roswellquilting.com or move on over to the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in downtown Roswell. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
It's back and just in time for Christmas, the Yucca Blossom Christmas Jamboree. Come experience a winter wonderland of vendors. Over 50 will be fully stocked to help you take care of all of your Christmas shopping. No waiting, no shipping. The Yucca Blossom Christmas Jamboree is Saturday and Sunday, December 11 and 12 at the Eddy County Fairgrounds. Family fun includes a cornhole tournament, Moose Caboose Kids Train, a mechanical bull, Runyon Ranch Petting Zoo, and more. Bring the kids because you know who will be there too. Saturday and Sunday, December 11 and 12 at the Eddy County Fairgrounds in Artesia. And thanks to Navajo Refining Holly Frontier for helping us get the word out.
Looking for the perfect gift? Get them a shirt from Untuck It. Untuck It shirts are designed to be worn untucked. They're the easiest way to keep him looking sharp and feeling comfortable. You can't go wrong with their super soft flannels, wrinkle-free shirts, performance shirts with stretch, and cozy sweaters that are all perfect for right now. They even have a line for her. Find the perfect gift for every guy on your list at one of 80-plus Untuck It stores or at untuckit.com. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn Untucked.
More than 1 in 3 people will face cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, fear can stop you from getting cancer screening, but it won't stop cancer. Early detection can save your life. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to act. Cancer screening is safe, effective, and accessible for everyone, including free or low-cost screening programs. Go to CancerScreenQuiz.com now and take the American Cancer Society's 2-minute cancer screening quiz to find out what screening tests are right for you. Don't wait. Take the quiz. Get screened. Go to CancerScreenQuiz.com now. CancerScreenQuiz.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 8:59. Stay tuned. Next hour here about 9:15 or so. Kathy Lay with the City of Roswell and Keep Roswell Beautiful will join us and give us an update on what's happening there. Probably even talk, she's not with Main Street anymore, but of course they had the big Christmas tree lighting Friday and then the big light drive-through event on Saturday out at the convention center. That was packed. I was working here till about 6 or so. And then I was heading back to the house, and there were cars lined up on Main Street all the way down to go see the Christmas light stuff. So they had a big turnout there. So it sounds like big success there on Saturday. So good to hear. But Kathy Lay will join us next hour. Town Hall News is up next. Don't go away. We'll be back. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Roswell's home for talk radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Calling it a first-in-the-nation measure, Mayor Bill de Blasio announcing a COVID vaccine mandate for all private sector workers in New York City. De Blasio on MSNBC this morning.
We in New York City have decided to use a preemptive strike to really do something bold to stop the further growth of COVID and the dangers it's causing to all of us.
The mandate to take effect December 27th, just days before de Blasio leaves office. Ukraine will be the issue as President Biden and Russian President Putin meet virtually tomorrow.
The U.S. and its allies are concerned about a Russian troop buildup on the Ukrainian border that's seen as a sign of a potential invasion. The White House says Mr. Biden will press U.S. concerns about those military activities and reaffirm America's support for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine. The last known call between the two leaders was in July. Greg Clugston, the White House.
It's a rather gloomy inflation forecast from America's business economists.
The latest survey by the National Association for Business Economics predicts an extension of the price spikes thought to be largely the result of bottlenecked supply chains. A panel of forecasters expects consumer prices to rise 6% this quarter from a year ago. That's an increase from a 5.1 inflation forecast predicted in September. 75% of the panel expects the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge will increase by 4.9%, far above the central bank's 2% target. And 66% said they think wage gains will keep inflation elevated over the next 3 years. Jennifer King, Washington.
Plans for a massive new plant in North Carolina to be unveiled today, expected to be a Toyota electric vehicle battery factory to employ more than 1,700 people. Watching Wall Street, stocks higher. Right now, the Dow is up 626 points. The NASDAQ ahead 33, the S&P 47 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Why are cash-out refinances such a big deal right now? Uncle Ryan tries to teach me something.
I really feel like right now might be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I've been doing this for 18 years now, and I've just never seen a market where the rates are so low and values across the country have skyrocketed as much as they have. That combination, I remember one couple in particular, they were looking to do some home improvements at the house, but they were worried about their payments going up. Well, with rates being so low and them building up so much equity in the home over the last few years, we were able to get them the cash out for those home improvements, and their payments actually went down a little bit. Every single situation is different, but it does happen more often than you think. So it definitely does not hurt to call.
We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Middle Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. License in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Special court in Myanmar's capital sentencing the country's ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi to 4 years in prison.
A legal official says the court has found Suu Kyi guilty of incitement and violating coronavirus restrictions. The case involves statements posted on her party's Facebook page after she'd already been detained by the military. The sentencing is the first in a series of cases in which the 76-year-old Nobel laureate is being prosecuted since the army seized power on February 1, preventing her National League for Democracy party from starting a second 5-year term in office. The verdict in another case against her is expected next week. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Indonesian rescuers retrieving more bodies buried under volcanic debris. Improved weather allowing them to resume their search after a volcano on Indonesia's Java Island erupted. News and analysis at townhall.com. China's central bank looking to reassure the public it can contain the potential fallout if a troubled real estate developer's $310 billion mountain of debt collapses.
The People's Bank of China says it's freed up $190 billion for banks to lend by reducing the amount of money they must hold as reserves. Its announcement made no mention of Evergrande. However, the move was expected after regulators promised to keep lending markets functioning following the company's warning Friday that it might run out of cash to pay debts.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. New COVID travel restrictions on the books today. Those coming to the U.S. from abroad must show proof of a negative COVID test taken within 1 day of their boarding their flight. The new Omicron COVID variant now detected in 17 U.S. states. Again, on Wall Street this hour, the Dow is up 637 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Rigging through it, flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ, the demolition. What does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3. Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday! Mm-hmm. Yay! I know there's a little falseness in there, but it's you're upright, you're living, you're doing your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Be happy about it.
Enough of a gap has happened between what happened this morning to me and now that I'm just like, all right.
You feel
still there's some stuff I have to deal with though. I'm either going to have to call a locksmith or hope that my landlord has an extra key to my house. Otherwise,
well, see, now this is words in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Sean is sporting a Mario Brothers t-shirt with all the cast of characters. There's the Goomba on there.
Yeah.
And every time I see that, all I can think of is mob
Johnny.
movies. And they're calling their Goombas, which is, I guess, Italian for girlfriend in the mafia world. And say, hey, who's your Goomba?
I always thought Goomba was like an insult. Like,
maybe.
Look at this Goomba over here.
But a Goomba, no B, is like a side mistress, girlfriend. That's in that world what that means.
That is such a complex vernacular to keep track of. Like seriously, I only just recently discovered what the heck gabagool is.
Yeah, that's a dish.
It's
that's
ham.
Food.
No,
yeah.
it's like prosciutto.
Yeah, it's a type of ham.
Yeah, I think it's capicola. I think is like basically that kind of ham.
Yeah,
style. But
it's part of those meats, those charcuterie church, whatever they call that meats.
You ate all the gabagool. That whole. It's like I don't know, or like menagot. That whole thing.
We do have a camera, just telling you.
I don't think anybody saw that, though.
I don't think so either, but that was funny.
Oof.
But yeah, so when I'm looking at your shirt, that's all I think of is like Casino and like Godfather and all these mafia movies and Goomba and Gooma and all this. So.
Goomba Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got Mario over here.
Yeah, I know. I've seen enough Sopranos and stuff to know the vernacular a little bit. Like I could probably go in there and fake it for 30 to 70 seconds before someone would out me and say, this guy isn't Italian. Take him out.
Did you ever see the story of the guy who did the voice, like the modern voice for Mario?
Mm-mm.
So it's a whole thing. Like he was like a janitor or something. I have to go back and watch the story again. Basically, he was like a janitor, and like he tried out for this thing, and they're like, he's like, well, I found out he's an Italian, so I kind of like leaned in and did this very like stereotypical Italian voice, and he just became like the Mario that we all know. And like for 20 or 30 years, this guy just like based on an impression that what he thought the guy's like the character sounded like has been the standard voice of Mario moving forward.
Yeah. I think it's all Chef Boyardee's fault.
Yeah.
Because I think we all in our head now just assume Italians all talk like Chef Boyardee.
That they add in the and
I'm not saying there's some of that going on, but it's a bit over to the top,
Que cosa? Yeah.
And that's the thing is when you go, like for people that, if you ever been and spent time East Coast, particularly New York and Jersey and that area, everyone just kind of sounds like that anyway. Right. I mean, there's a lot of Italians there, but it's just that New York mindset and mentality. Like, oh, hey, oh, there's just a lot of people do that a lot. They're loud. And that's just, and even the non-Italians, it's just New York City.
Hey, look over this guy over here, cutting in line with his face and standing there with your shirt.
And like you go to like the mom and pop restaurants, the delicatessens and stuff downtown, you kind of, I haven't been in 20 years, so unless they've changed. But generally speaking, you walk in these places, if you're new, you better be like on the ball because, you got to know how to order, when to order. If you don't, everyone gives you a hard time.
That's what
you're gumming up the works.
That's what intimidates little bumpkin me about like going, because like, on my bucket list, like one of my number one or number two is visit New York, just because it's like the radio mecca. It's with what I do for a living, it's always been on my list of places to go. I'm terrified, dude. I'm not going to be able to hang. I can't order from I don't know. I'm going to have to watch a.
You just got to kind of know what you want and be, just kind of hang out and read the room and do what they do, and you're just fine. That's just it. If you act like you've been there, you're fine. Just walk in there and be like, hey, give me a pastrami on Morai or whatever.
So what you're telling me I need to do is. Act like wherever you are, that's the place to be.
When in Rome,
Isn't this great?
Hey, give me a pie.
Fast
give me a
times
slice.
High.
Take a slice. I'll take a slice. Give me a pie.
But you know as well as I do that I don't exactly do well with, acquiesce to the mood of the room.
I know.
You've been in rooms with me before where that's not my.
You just got to know the vernacular. Once you got that down, you're good to go. But they're not, and I'm guessing some are going to be very nice and stuff. They tell you a touristy. They probably cut you a break, but. If you just kind of act there and, it's just like, it's like you go to foreign countries. If you attempt to learn the language, they're generally more receptive to you than you just going in there being all American.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You walk in there like, I said pie. And they're like, you can say it slower and louder. I still don't speak English. You know what I mean? But if you go in there like, excuse me, or whatever you're trying to use, they're going to work with you.
I know enough if I'm going to walk into a pizza place in New York to order a slice, not to say, can I have a piece of pizza? I know better than to say, let me get a slice of, I know that.
Because they sell it by the slice. Yeah. Pie. Give me a pie or give me a slice.
Just get a slice of that pep. I know enough about that. I like to think that my mom has imbued in me the ability to shorten words that don't need to be shortened enough to where I could fit in. Yeah, let me get a slice of that pep.
Well, that's where you get messed up is because the Italians will say the same thing you do, but they put the Italian in it. So you're like, you want mozzarella, and they're like, you're like, what? Mozzarella. And so they get all like Italian on you.
Now, see, that's where I'm okay because I lean enough into that I know the menegote, mozzarella. I know enough about that stuff.
But I don't think you have to try to do that. Just kind of, just don't go over because you don't want to imitate them either. You don't walk in there and be like, oh, hey, and they're gonna think you know.
I've made this joke before.
Get you out of there.
this Fugazi. Look at this Fugazi guy over here. Now, I've made this joke before, though. If you're from the New York area, you could make a pretty healthy living just taking tourists and ordering for them so that they don't feel embarrassed in different places. Yeah, same thing. If like around here, if you are Hispanic and you feel more comfortable going into paleterias, tortillerias, places like that, white folks like me, I would hire somebody to go into those places and order the stuff I want so I don't feel awkward trying to order a Dory nachos from Yoli's, you know?
I think you should just go in there and do it.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, I still do because, you know, it's the only place in town you can get the Dory nachos with the corn on top. Yeah. But still, it's awkward.
Well, I think at some point they just know you. Oh, that guy. Yeah. Here he is.
Right? No, they do. They call me Wedo.
No, they like you.
Is that what that means? No, that's not what that means.
Well, they like the fact that you come in regularly and eat their food. They're going to appreciate that.
Yeah.
And sure, it's not your culture or your heritage, but you enjoy it, and they appreciate that, I'm sure.
It's kind of like the...
Yeah, I would imagine they appreciate that more than you come in there acting like you know what it is and then not do it. You know what I'm saying? Come in there and acting like you know what you're doing.
But at the same time, it's that mindset of if you've ever been to like a nail salon, you know when they're talking smack about you.
Yeah.
Like they're like, okay, you get special and then what? And then they're often there. Like, yeah, I know you're talking smack about me.
Probably, but then again, I think a lot of that is just us thinking we're way more important than we are.
Maybe.
I think some people are thinking, oh, they're speaking in a different language or they're speaking in something I don't understand. It must be about me. No, they're probably talking smack about life in general, and they're using vernacular that's probably crude.
I had to be reminded,
and they're doing it in their own language because they don't want to offend you. So
I also had to be reminded that it's just sometimes it's more comfortable for people to speak in their native language.
Sure, yeah.
So like, I brought that up as like, you guys always start talking Spanish as soon as I'm around. I'm like we don't do it for you.
Yeah, it's us.
Fair enough.
You know, so it's not about you sometimes. Right. It's just the quickest
That's
way
the
from point A to
narcissistic
point.
human side of things. Like, it's got to be about me.
And I think Americans are better at that than others. It's just we're
making it about us.
We're good at that. That's what we do. And I'm not saying that's wrong all the time either, because making it about us made us, best country in the planet.
It's the American way.
So you're not wrong. You want to be good, you got to be good.
That's right.
You got to get to be the top. You got to be, and that's how it works. You young folks got to understand that. You know why we're great? Because we busted our tails to get here. You all just can't roll in and just suck on that and think it's not going to and keep getting good. You got to work just as hard to keep it going.
It's almost that Kanye West mindset. If you keep saying you're good for long enough, eventually it'll be true.
Well, but at some point you got to do something.
Oh yeah. Well, he put out College Dropout. That was a good album. It's pretty solid.
Worth about 10 billion times more than I am, so who am I to talk? Kathy Lay with City of Roswell and Keep Roswell Beautiful will join us here in just a bit. Give us an update on there. Of course, hope folks got to go out. Did you get a chance to go out to the light parades and stuff there?
Went to the...
they were very busy.
The tree lighting itself.
On Friday?
Didn't go to the Whoville event, but we did go to me and the kids went to the tree lighting. Got to see some of the choruses performing. That was actually a really good crowd also.
Well, I was say when because I was working here Saturday to about 6:30, and when I left to go back home, they had quite the line over by the convention center. For the Whoville.
Yeah, I heard it was really, really good turnout.
Yeah, they had a great crowd and pictures I saw online looked good. So hopefully folks got to participate that and were patient and because I imagine it took a lot of time for folks to get through that. It was quite a line I saw.
As weird as it sounds, I always look forward to times like that only because that's the time I want to go to like Walmart.
You want to do what everyone else is not doing.
Exactly. It's like I feel like now I can get in and get out and on my way.
Yeah. But well. Every time I think that too, usually there's someone that throws a wrench in that plan.
Oh, that was also thinking the same thing. Yeah, and it's the exact person you don't want to run into.
Yeah, and there's a reason why they're not out in public a lot. It is 9:16. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty cool today. We'll stay in the low 50s for the afternoon high with high pressure moving into our area behind last night's cold front. The weather pattern looks fair, though, mostly sunny through the afternoon hours. Overnight will be clear and chilly with lows in the upper 20s to around 30, and then we'll start to warm up tomorrow. Highs 65 to 70 and sunny. We'll be in the 70s on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 38 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 27%. Winds currently out of the north at 8 miles per hour. Sunny today, cooler. We may get to 50. 49 officially is what they're saying today with northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 27. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, a little warmer tomorrow. We'll be back into the mid-60s, 66 officially with west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, clear skies once again 31, so another night below freezing overnight. Next 2 nights, looks like. West winds 5 to 10. We'll be back into the 70s on Wednesday, sunny and 72 with southwest winds 5 to 15. Wednesday night, mostly clear, overnight low of 36. Remaining in the 70s on Thursday, 72 under mostly sunny skies. Thursday night, a warm overnight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 48. Yeah, basically our high today is about the same as the overnight low Thursday night. So that's just telling you something. It's going to warm up a little bit. And then Friday, things start getting, it's going to be windy. Expect highs around 68. That's going to bring cooler temps for Saturday. We're only supposed to be in the mid-50s on Saturday and then mid-60s on Sunday. All right, it is 18 minutes after 9. Let's take a 3-minute commercial break. And then on the other side, we'll have Kathy Lay join us here. Keep Roswell beautiful in the city here. Give us an update on things happening all around the city. Don't go away.
Hey, this is Dr. Keon Egger at Carabelli Dental in Roswell. Our office is passionate about creating beautiful, long-lasting smiles. But here's the thing. Sometimes that means dentures. And that's not a bad thing. These aren't your grandma's dentures. We combine artistry and the latest technology to create beautiful, natural-looking teeth. If you are in southeastern New Mexico and you have dentures or are considering dentures, you need to come visit us at Carabelli Dental.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 622-4455.
Mays Lumber has all the hard-to-find hardwood you've been looking for. Oak, cherry, walnut, poplar, and maple. Plus, hard-to-find exotic woods like purple heart, zebra wood, ambrosia maple, black limba, and bloodwood. Perfect for that one-of-a-kind gift piece or table. Get ready with Formica and Wilson Art countertops in 12-footer custom length with installation available. Make it happen at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, serving southeastern New Mexico and beyond since 1934.
When you're not feeling well, the last thing you want to worry about is how soon you can get in to see your healthcare provider, or even finding a provider if you don't have one. Well, now you can feel better knowing that the Loveless Healthcare Center in Roswell offers same-day or next-day appointments for when you're not feeling well, or for checkups, annual exams, or any chronic issues that need attention. To schedule an appointment or to find a new healthcare provider, call 625-3222 today.
What does paying 33 cents a day for health insurance sound like? Yeah, kind of like that. Open enrollment is on now, and you may be able to get health insurance for 33 cents a day. And as New Mexico's health insurance marketplace, Be Well NM makes finding health insurance and signing up easy and affordable. And our services are free. Call us at 1-833-862-3935 or visit BeWellNM.com to get the assistance you need and to get insured. Because you just never know.
For over 40 years, Sierra Blanca Motors here in Roswell have been providing locals with quality vehicles and are committed to providing you quality vehicles and service for many years to come. No sales gimmicks, no inflated pricing, just a quality pre-owned vehicle listed at retail pricing or less. Have a used vehicle to sell? Get top trade-in value or an amazing cash offer today. Let Danny or Jose provide you a great car buying experience. Call 575-622-7907 or stop by Sierra Blanca Motors at 720 South Main Street in Roswell. Se habla español.
Have you noticed the days are getting shorter? This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but we're on the downhill side of the year, so every day is a couple of minutes shorter than the one before, even though your plants need plenty of food and water to keep them healthy. Like those globe willows that are turning yellow. A good dose of the right fertilizer will make them bright green again. No matter what the problems you're having, we probably have a cure at Roswell Seed Company. But come see us soon, because winter's coming, you know.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us here in studio this morning from City of Roswell and Keep Roswell Beautiful, Kathy Lay back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I am good, thank you.
Doing good.
Yeah.
And I know the city had I know it's not necessarily your department anymore here, but Had a great weekend with the tree lightings and everything through Main Street, the city here and all that.
That's wonderful.
Hopefully everyone got a chance to get involved with that.
Yeah.
Obviously a little something about stuff over at Main Street there. You spend a time or two
Those are great, hardworking people. I love them.
Yeah.
I love them.
So, but you kind of do in some aspects some of the same things for the city now.
I do. Yeah. I have always had a real heart for the community like that. And so this job actually, my next door office neighbor, the lady that's in the office next to me is
office
hilarious.
mate.
It's funny. She's really sweet. Her name's Amanda. And then there is another Amanda who's over the visitor center. One is guest services and one is over the visitor center lead.
Okay.
And so they were talking about a project that they're working on, and they wanted to try to come up with something creative to just be for fun for the holidays, but specifically to try to target supporting the downtown businesses, because the visitor center gets people that come by that maybe they've hit the museum or maybe they're planning on going to the museum, and they come into the visitor center asking for information.
Sure, looking for other things to do in the city. Yeah.
So they wanted to try to find a way, because they're within walking distance of all these downtown businesses. And that it really, after working with Main Street, I really understand the concept of your downtown is really the heart of the community.
Sure.
It's not that the businesses outside of that district aren't important, but that's the area that most of your visitors come to.
That's going to be the draw to the community.
That's the draw to the community.
Yeah.
It gives the impression to people of what their community is. If it is dilapidated and run down and vacant and abandoned, it just can affect the whole community's economic structure.
Well, not to mention the types of people that end up hanging out here. If it looks, that's why, we talk about derelict properties, and that's why everyone's so much about getting those cleaned up, because they're a magnet for nefarious activity.
Absolutely. And when it's in the downtown, especially when it's on the crossroad of two major highways, where everybody who's going those highways comes through our downtown, and it's directly in from the airport to where our hotels are located for the most part. Now, there are some down 2nd Street. You have very few that are out that direction. So people go through your downtown. So it's really, really vital that downtown stays thriving and alive, and that those businesses are supported for that reason. But they wanted to find something that would be fun for people to do. So they came up with a concept of doing a candy cane hunt.
Okay.
And what they're doing is the city, the Amanda and Amanda.
The Amandas.
The Amandas. It was real cute. I told them, I said, well, I actually, after working for so many years with Main Street, I know the downtown business owners. I love them. They're like my little babies. They're my babies still. And so I really care about them. So I said, I'll introduce you and we can go see them. And then they'll be comfortable to say yes or no if they want to participate, because they know me.
Sure. They know the caliber of what you do and what you bring to the table.
Well, they just know me. And they know I will say, oh, you don't have to.
If you're involved with it, it's good.
And I'll know their heart. And so if they don't want to do it, that's absolutely fine. There's absolutely no pressure. But it's just something that they said offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what they're doing is when people come into the visitor center and they stop by to ask questions, they're going to tell them, now there's a downtown candy cane hunt going on. Some of our downtown businesses, we're not going to tell you which ones, they have a sign. If you go in their store and look, there'll be a sign that says they're participating in the candy cane hunt.
Okay.
And they will give you one candy cane per group.
Nice. Okay.
And so when you find 3 stores and get 3 candy canes and bring it back to the visitor center, they will give you a free gift.
Oh, nice.
And so that's what
you get to keep the candy canes and eat them if you're a fan of eating candy.
Yeah,
they don't want you. You can keep them.
Yeah, it's just so anyway. But they're going to provide the candy canes to the businesses. They give them a sign. They give them the instructions of how to do it and stuff. So we walked around and I introduced them, and they got to meet the downtown. A lot of and they're doing it mostly for the boutiques and the shops and the small. It's like they're not really hitting the ones that visitors probably would not hit. They're looking for the ones that are in the downtown district specifically, that are more tourist related and stuff. And I mean, like the boutiques and the little shops and stuff. So we went in and out of all of those. And so there's a lot of them that are participating, and it's open to the community as well.
Very good.
So that's why I thought I would talk about it today, to kick off when we visit today, is because as I was taking them in and out of the stores, one of the things that they kept saying is, oh my goodness, I didn't realize this store was here. Oh my goodness, look at all this really cool stuff. I'm going to have to come back.
That
is what I found after working with with Main Street and working downtown and getting to know those businesses over the last several years is there are so many amazing shops downtown. Great Christmas gift ideas. Great places to go in if you want something really unique and something really cool. And it supports our, as you know, and we talk about almost every time, it supports our local businesses, which is what we need to do to keep dollars local and to support our neighbors' businesses.
Absolutely. I know, like, we have a lot of great restaurants in the downtown area, and I know a lot of people love to come and enjoy meals at their favorite places downtown, which is awesome. Please do that.
Sure.
What I would offer is, hey, when you park your car, your vehicle to go and walk to your favorite restaurant downtown, maybe on your way in or out, go hit some of the businesses around that favorite restaurants. Check out some of the fairs and things that are here. You always walk. I'm sure you walk by and see things in the window. You're like, I need to go in there someday, but we never do. Go make that trip over there, or take the long way to that favorite restaurant. Maybe park at a parking lot that's not quite next to that
downtown.
one. Yeah, maybe it's like, for instance, maybe you want to go to maybe Martine's or El Toro Bravo. Go park at the courthouse lawn, back behind there, and walk from there over and hit some of the businesses on the way over.
Yes.
And that way you can visit some of those, walk off your meal after, because we're all like overstuffed. And, man, I need to go for a walk. That kind of makes you go for a little walk and do that.
Oh, and the fall weather is so nice. And there's so many, there's like, they're down a few down 2nd Street. Yeah. There's a few that are just kind of here and there, little, down 3rd Street here with the Brave. And different ones.
Exactly.
There's different shops around and about. And they have really... like when we went in, some of the ones, it's not what you expect. There's some that are food items and some that are clothing and jewelry and home decor and interior design stuff. And there's arts and crafts stuff. And there's just tons and tons of variety, art itself.
Yeah.
So anyways, they went around. They were really, really impressed. And so you can realize that's the kind of place you go to when you go on vacation. I don't know how many times I go to another city.
Yeah.
I go on vacation. Like I used to travel and go to conferences with Main Street, and I would go to a new community. And then you always look for those little clusters of those real unique shops, and you want to buy something that's just like a memorable thing. And I always would find cute little shawls or really pretty jewelry or a neat little shirt or some little poncho or just something fun to a little trinket to put in my purse, things like that. And that's the feel you get. Like you feel like you've been on a vacation. So it's a great opportunity to come downtown, pop in and out, look for that sign.
Yeah.
You can pick up 3 candy canes and then go hit the visitor center.
Nice little prize
and
there.
So you can get a little gift from the visitor center, and then you can also get to know some of these really great shops. And I found, like, one of the things I've done before, and I think it's a great idea, is I would call one of the downtown business owners and I would say, hey, I need gifts for my siblings for Christmas. This is my spending limit. Get them some really cool things. I remember that you had some food stuff, and they will put together a box for me.
That's great.
Gift items.
Sure.
They'll put a card in it for me.
Nice.
They will box it up and mail it for me.
That's amazing.
And
That's
I
great.
pay over the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my Christmas shopping.
And now
done.
you look like a hero, and they did all the work.
And all these really cool trending things that
That's cool.
And they're the kind of businesses that we have downtown. It's customer service.
Yeah.
It is, they get to know you, you get to know them. They will look for stuff for you specifically. They will hook you up with what you need. You tell them what you need.
Their passion is their products.
They know what they have. So I encourage you, get to know them, come down and visit them, enjoy the candy cane hunt, and get a free little gift. So that's my plug for one of the things that we're doing that I wanted to make sure I talked about.
Absolutely.
Right
and also while you're at the visitor center, getting your prize and everything, if you're looking for Christmas gifts, a lot of city-themed, alien-themed.
Oh, yeah.
So if you've got like out-of-town friends and family, you want to give them, the taste of Roswell, so to speak, with the aliens and some of the cool T-shirts and marks and stuff.
Yeah.
They got all this. So if you're looking for like Roswell marked swag, branded swag,
branded stuff.
Yeah, they got it all there at the visitor center.
Absolutely.
Too.
See, and that's the visitor center. That's all they sell. They don't. It's one of the things they didn't want to do is they didn't want to be a competitive tourist shop for the downtown store. So they don't sell anything that's not just their Roswell branded stuff.
Sure, yeah.
There's so many, like a lot of the little places that they've got like those metal aliens that you see over by like McDonald's and Dunkin' and some of those metal statues.
Yeah.
Some of our downtown businesses sell those.
Yeah.
They, the driver's license or the credit cards that are alien credit cards and driver's license.
Yeah.
Some of them have those kinds of fun things.
Or
We
the
found
the little
the little antenna things.
Yeah.
We went in one of the shops and it was so cool. They had a Bluetooth speaker that looks almost like it's kind of an alien metal sort of thing. And then hovering above it, because it's magnetic, it does that, that reverse polarization.
Yeah.
Is floating a UFO.
Cool. Nice.
So you have a floating UFO over your Bluetooth speaker.
Nice.
And I mean, those are really cool gifts. If you were looking for something to send somebody or give a friend that wants something that's Roswell or real unique UFO stuff.
Our Main Street Merchant's got all that stuff.
And so you can have things that are not necessarily tourist stuff, but you can have things that are too.
Just cool really science fiction.
Yes, but we do sell the Roswell branded stuff at the visitor
so
center.
Frisbees, T-shirts, all that.
One of the places that we went in, one of the guys that was really cool, he's got this QR code thing, and he's actually done local restaurant food reviews that he's got on his YouTube channel.
Okay.
And you can scan that QR code and then go there and look at some of the reviews of the different local restaurants. And so he's wanting to continue. He's needing to get back to it, he said. But he gave some of the cards to put at the visitor center. So if you're interested in that, you can scan that QR code over at the visitor center and see some of the local restaurant reviews on the YouTube channel too.
Well, you might have to get cracking because there's some new ones in and new ones coming. So
there's a lot of really great ones. But anyway, that's my pitch for the Candy Cane Hunt.
Yeah, definitely get involved in. That's going on right now. So be on the lookout.
It'll go until December 23rd.
Okay, so you got now till the eve of Christmas Eve.
Correct. And the reason is they're not going to be open on Christmas Eve and they're not going to be open on Christmas Day.
Gotcha.
So the visitor center is closed, so you can't go back and get a gift. And it's kind of Christmas themed stuff.
But I imagine quite a few of those merchants will be open on the 24th. So.
You could probably still go get your last minute. If you're a diehard, wait till the very last minute kind of shopper, isn't that what you are, Mike?
Some people, they live in that world.
I remember you saying that once. I don't remember.
There's not many years I'm not out on Christmas Eve buying something for somebody.
I thought you remember you saying that.
I'm usually one of those guys. Absolutely.
I literally am done with my Christmas shopping.
Oh, no, no.
We just found out we might do a Secret Santa thing, so I may need one more gift.
If I think about a gift in the month of November, I'm way ahead of the game.
Oh, my daughter.
No, I normally don't. Yeah.
I ordered my daughter's Christmas gift back in the summer, right? And I had a friend who helped me because we had to get it second. They're not available any longer. They're very, very rare. So I found what I needed, and a friend of mine helped me buy it, right? So she gets it mailed to her and is going to send it to me. It got caught in the hurricane in a post office in Louisiana, and the roof caved in, and it took months before they got in and got the boxes out. And it wasn't damaged, thankfully, but we're all sitting there on tenterhooks waiting. Because I paid big bucks for this, and it was really rare. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my package. And it finally came in, and I'm like so relieved. But I was thinking, that was back like in June, July, I ordered hers. So I think way ahead for Christmas.
You're probably a year ahead. You're already thinking 2022's Christmas.
Maybe not that far, but I do think far ahead. I'm a planner. I don't like last minute stuff. It makes me nervous. Anyway.
Hey, whether you're me or her or somewhere in between. They got you covered.
Whole month of December. Or, well, not the whole month. All the way up until the 23rd.
Cool.
Go out and do your shopping. Get your candy canes. Get your free gift.
Have some fun with it. Get the kids involved. Let them enjoy it. And
it's
come
fun.
Celebrate downtown and city of Roswell here with all this stuff.
And now, because they already did their first Friday, they did their tree lighting. They did the parade, the kind of drive-by sort of thing. So this will give you something else you can do.
Yeah.
Anyway, fun.
Absolutely.
And one of the things I wanted to also pitch that I wanted to mention is there's my 3 things that I work in is volunteer and outreach, and I work with sponsorships, and I work with the Keep Roswell Beautiful. So for the sponsorship, I'm really wanting to kick off a program to have people be able to donate to help pay for spays, neuters, those microchips, and getting the dogs.
Okay, helping
shots.
families with some of the vet costs there.
Because then our animal services can get those animals adopted.
Sure.
And so that is something, if you are interested in trying to help contribute to that, let me know. And we're set up a donation account. The money goes just for that use only. None of the funds that when we do sponsorships for programs or projects that we're doing ever go to general funds. It goes directly to that
whatever
that
it's
department's donation
earmarked
account.
For. Gotcha.
Right. And they're setting up donation accounts for each department within the city for projects like that. So that therefore the money doesn't have to go filtering through general and then get back there. So it can't get lost along the way. It's deposited directly in that account with an earmark.
Awesome.
So we want to make sure that people are aware of that. And that's something that we really I'd love to plug that. I know a lot of people do try to get pets, and you and I we have this conversation because I think it's a really important conversation. So I'll bring it up again. But pets are not gifts that you can give without people knowing.
Yeah,
without people wanting
the
those.
The person you're intending it for better be involved in every step of the choosing
or it better
of that
be
pet.
that you're going to take care of it if it's your kids.
my suggestion is, if you want to make it a surprise, like instead of giving them a pet and putting it under the tree, give them a piece of paper saying, hey, I'm going to pay for an adoption of a pet from the animal control or the Humane Society or wherever you go.
One free trip to pick out your pet.
And let them be in every facet of that adoption process.
I agree. Yeah. And we're getting into the winter months, so make sure your animals do have shelter and bedding, because like tonight we're looking, it's going to be 20.
Yeah, the next 2 nights it's below freezing.
In the
overnight.
20s.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want to sleep outside with just a thin blanket. They just have a thin little coat. Please, please, please check on your little animals. But we want to make sure that we have this opportunity. If you want to help sponsor some of those adoptions and things, in that way, we do have a donation account set up. So I wanted to mention that. I also want to mention.
Just out of curiosity, to give reference, depending on the size of the pet, I mean, it's usually roughly around $200 to spay a pet or neuter a pet.
Yeah, I don't
depending
know,
on the size.
They want to get them their shots.
Yeah.
They want to get them microchipped so that if your dog gets lost, they can get it back.
And I believe
you.
it's about $50 to get a chip.
I don't remember. It varies from vet to vet.
Well, I'm just trying to ballpark. So people are like, well, how much should I donate? If you're like saying I want to donate everything from one pet, I'd say around $200.
Yeah,
probably.
I would think that will get a good start with it. It varies with things because they get their shots too. Some of them have already had shots. Some of them come in and they've been fixed, but they don't have microchip and they don't have shots.
Sure.
Some of them come in and they maybe they've already got that much done on it because they were sick when they came in.
Sure.
And they've already gotten some vet care, which means they already gave them their shots, but they still need to be fixed and they need to have a chip.
Yeah.
So each animal will vary on the amount, but anything can help because some of those could be partial sponsorships. Maybe the family can afford part of it, but they can't afford all of it.
Sure.
So anything you give can help contribute to it.
Yeah.
And so we really would love to see animals have the opportunity. Now, the animal services work really hard with the local rescues and try to get those animals placed.
Yeah, they do an amazing job of working.
They really want very, very much to give those animals a better life.
So as Kathy's saying that, if you're at animal control, walking through the cages and kennels there, and you're not seeing a pet that connects to you, walk right next door to the Humane Society.
That's absolutely right.
Because you're rescuing a pet regardless of which shelter you pull it out of.
They go in and they get those from the animal services and move them over as they're able, and they have openings and they do work together. I mean, the one is not city organized.
Yeah.
It is an independent with I'm thinking the Humane Society is a nonprofit.
Yes, it is.
But they work very closely together to try to, both of them, really have a heart.
And everyone in animal control, they're not in the euthanization game either.
No, they're pet owners.
Yeah.
I asked them. I went by and met the animal services people, and I took one of my appreciation projects because someone wanted to donate things for them. And so I took mine, gave them their little thank you gifts and thanked them for their services and stuff. And I asked them, I said, how many of you guys have pets yourself? And every one of them raised their hand.
Yeah.
And that is not a job as a pet owner. That's got to be hard.
Yeah, a lot of emotions there.
A lot of emotions there. Yeah. But you have animals that are frightened or hurt or aggressive, and you're trying to get them off the street and get them to a place that's safe and a place where they can possibly find a new home and be adopted.
And this is just a straight truth.
Yes.
There are some people that are just bad pet owners out there.
Yeah, they shouldn't have pets.
They don't take, they weren't raised.
Yeah, they don't know how or they
way
don't
to
want
take
to.
care of pets. And so some people look at pets as some kind of commodity like livestock or something, and they treat them as such. And,
right.
And you can't. A pet is very much
they're
a part of the family.
They're domesticated and they're social.
Yeah, they aren't wild animals.
No.
You got to treat them as such, and that's kind of how it goes.
Yep.
But anyway, not to get all philosophical about it here. If you'd like to help out, please
do.
And if you're thinking like in your head, because I know some people that are fluent in thinking, well, man, I'd like to pay for a dozen spay or neuters. I would guesstimate, if you want a rough number, on average, I'm going to say it's probably about $200 on average for a person to adopt a pet, depending on size and what's needed. But like a big dog costs more to spay or neuter than a little dog does, and same thing, But then again, little dogs have other things that big dogs don't. So it's roughly about $200 is what I would say safely is a planning number.
Yeah, and we would love that. If you contact me, Kathy Lay. You can call the City Hall.
Yeah.
And you can talk to Kathy Lay, Lay. And I would love to be able to get some of that facilitated. We would really appreciate that. One other thing I was going to mention is in our rec department, the recreation, we have classes or programs and things that would love. If you have an idea of something you would like to see, or if you can teach a class or coach a team, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
For the referees, for the games, things like that. There's a real opportunity for volunteers. They do have positions that they pay, it's a small amount for people that teach regular classes and stuff as well. But if you have an idea for something you'd like to teach at the rec department, maybe you do ballroom dancing, maybe you do square dancing, line dancing. Maybe you do that CrossFit training or jazzercise or any number of courses that you think the community, or you have people that you would like to teach it in a setting like that, contact the rec department and say, hey, I have a programming idea and I'd really like to teach it, or I know someone who can.
Sure.
And then they also have an online form. If there is something you would like to have them make available at the rec department, submit that online form. If you go to the City of Roswell website and go to the recreation department, they actually have a form for submitting ideas for programs or classes and things that you would like to see them have.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the recreation center. That facility is for we the people of Roswell.
Exactly.
We kind of dictate what we want and don't want, and obviously the staff and everything comes up with programs and ideas, thinking, hey, people might like this, but at the end of the day,
they don't always know what you want.
They're going to do exactly what the public demands there. So if there's a bunch of people saying, man, y'all should have chess tournaments here or whatever it is that you're into, let them know.
Shuffleboard.
And they'll say, you know what?
Who knows?
All right, that's something within our means. We can set that up here. If you're thinking, well, shoot, they got all these amazing weights, but only a certain percent. All right, well, let's restructure that where we keep the weights maybe for here for certain groups, and then we'll use this area for something else that more people would be. That's
they want to know what people will come to and participate in and what they're looking for.
Yeah, that's the whole point, to to make that facility suit the needs of the community. And
people have creative ideas sometimes, like you and I talk laughingly say goat yoga. It's like they have really interesting ideas. I've seen some where they'll do like these little babies that they bring their little kids and they do exercises together with the kids and stuff. There's all kinds of ideas people have. But if nobody comes to the class because nobody really wants that, you can come up with ideas, but you're looking for things people want to do with that facility because it is ours.
Absolutely.
It's not it is a community's.
We pay for it.
That's right. It's a community's gathering place to do recreation and do fun things together. So what do you guys want? So let them know. What do you want? What do you want to have over there that you think it'd be great? You know, there's people that would attend it, or you have a group that wants to do it, or you're a teacher and you know you've got students that would want to come to it if they could do it at the rec. Let them know.
Absolutely.
So they're looking for teachers. They're looking for coaches. They're looking for referees.
And if you love to coach and ref and those things, it's very much an instructional environment in those games. These are usually, especially the younger kids when they're playing basketball or volleyball or some of these sports for the first time. It's not. Obviously, when they get to high school levels, it's a little more competitive. This level, they're really learning the fundamentals of the game.
There's all different ages.
You're actually cementing the passion for that game at that level. So when you're the referee out there or the coach of these kids on the basketball, yes, the skill set is going to be crazy and all over the place. But you're making it fun. You're actually creating the passion of these sports that you probably have a passion for these kids. So it's not like, if you want to ref, I know you look at like the high school refs and all that, and you're like, man, they take a lot of heat. I don't know if I want,
I don't want that job.
Which people need to stop doing that. But this is a different world. This is, everyone's training. Like like, depending on the age of the kids, obviously, they may stop the game to do a teachable moment here, depending on,
it's so sweet. They're so sweet.
Yeah, the outcome of the final score is not so much the important thing. Is are they appreciating what the game is? Are they loving it? Are they having fun?
Yeah.
Are they learning it? So,
and it gives them something that can be very healthy and can give them a good outlet for their time and their interest. And it's like it could be lifelong health for themselves. Just a lot of things that it brings, that recreation brings to our kids and our youth when they're growing up. So it's a really valuable thing to give.
And that's where Kathy's talking about it. If you have those interests, those passions, and you want to get a bigger draw for that and utilize that. And that's really all the city stuff.
Sure.
Libraries, no different.
Listen, I've got a volunteer application. You go to the City of Roswell.
Yeah.
You go to the website and you click on the City of Roswell, and then right at the top you'll see little words on the right-hand side. It says, how do I ... Hold your mouse over that, and a pop-up window comes out. Top right, it says volunteer. Click on volunteer, and there's an online volunteer application. And we would love to have, the city is opening its doors to welcome volunteers to bring your skill set, your passions, your talents, your time, your efforts, to meet new people, maybe find a new career path. If you're younger, if you're a young adult or an older teen and you'd like to start volunteering, we had a civic dinner at the convention center, and they've just recently reopened with the city managing it. They've got like a skeleton staff right now. They're building their staff numbers.
Sure.
But this was the first dinner they'd hosted. So they needed people to help with volunteering to just be the greeters at the door and do different tasks that night.
Just kind of do the minutia.
Because they just fill water glasses. They didn't have enough hands to do it. So I called the Key Club, and I called the ENMUR's Circle K Club, and I called some of my individual volunteers.
Rallied the troops,
and I said, come on, wait, can you help? Can you please? And this was a required training for civic volunteers who are on civic boards. So it was a required board training. So they made it into a dinner to thank those volunteers for serving in these advisory boards across different groups of the city. And those volunteers came in. They did a fabulous job. The guy that is the director there was so impressed. He said, if any of them want a job, tell them, contact me. I had some that may end up applying for part-time jobs there because they're hiring part-time at the Civic Center. You need a job, guys? They're hiring at the visitor center. I mean, not the visitor center, the Civic Center.
Yeah. Opportunities are plenty if you're just willing to go out there and look for them.
The city's got lots of jobs. You may come to volunteer and find you really love that.
Yeah.
And you may find a new career or an opportunity to share your skills, your knowledge.
Absolutely.
Like the flute ensemble is going to be doing a thing at the library and playing and sharing music with the kids there. There's just lots of opportunities to volunteer.
Absolutely.
So if hit us up, we will hook you up.
You mentioned the library there too. I know all the time they have programs and events there of people that just experience or do something. I mean, like if you love crochet, they have a crochet group that meets almost, I don't know if it's every week or bi-weekly, but they meet often there. Same with like computer and chess. They have people that have that passion, and so they talk to the library, and the library say, "Great, we'll set something up, and then one Saturday a month or whatever, you can come out and learn to chess or learn computer skills."
Correct. They have opportunities there.
Yeah, and that's all people just showing their passion.
Yeah, second Saturdays at the Roswell Museum.
Yeah,
they have like a second Saturday event where they do different activities and stuff. There's so
many.
It's
free those Saturdays
to the families.
Public.
And people of all ages can go there. But they need sometimes they'll need interns or docents, or they will need extra hands to help with those second Saturday events. Each of the different departments over at the zoo. There's so many different places at the animal services when they're doing adoption events.
Yeah.
And they need extra hands just to walk the dogs around the leash or even just to sit and socialize with those little animals. So that they're come over to the side of the cage when people come in, and they'll be more welcoming of strangers and less fearful of strangers.
Have a familiar person with them.
Yeah, just to have somebody, or just to get them used to being around other people.
Yeah.
There's so many different opportunities, and if you are interested in helping, and even at just simple things like out at the cemetery, going out and helping those guys to straighten up some of those. There's 32,000 graves out at the cemetery, and they just trying to get things off of the main path where the wind. We had a windstorm last night. Like I said, the chairs were laying all over my front porch. I can't imagine what it did to some of those ornaments and decorations people put on graves that have blown all over the place.
Imagine they had a lot of work this morning.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of opportunities, all different kinds of work. If your club or youth group wants to do a fundraiser with it, I have with the Keep Roswell Beautiful, a little bit of money still left.
Yeah.
Your youth group can come out and do a 2-hour cleanup.
And raise
I'll give you the cleanup supplies, $400
for that.
2 hours, 10 youth, 11 to 17. Or 10 youth or more.
Yeah.
You go out and do a cleanup in a public area. I can give you the forms. You fill out. Tell me where you're going to go. I'll give you cleanup supplies. You go clean up for a couple hours. You come back, fill out our little invoice. We'll pay you $400.
I imagine there's a lot of little league teams or church group teams or
We've
scout troops or any
the
of those.
Roswell High School Band. We had the Lady
boosters,
Coyotes
any of the
just recently
boosters.
did one. We had the Youth Challenge Academy recently did one. And man, they're picking up lots of trash and they're making Roswell a nicer place. And I'm using grant money to pay them.
That's great.
And so it's wonderful. So I still have a little bit of money left. Hit me up. I would love to.
And the real winning part about it is the fact that we got young people seeing how the sausage is made. And when I see what it takes to make a community great. And so when these young men and women are our age and old men and women, they're running the show and doing it very well. You know what I mean?
And it'll make them understand better how important it is to throw your trash in a trash can and not just chunk it on the ground.
Absolutely.
How much effort it does and how much nicer it looks. It's like skin in the game and buy-in.
Absolutely.
And it can really help them to have a better attitude towards the way they treat our environment and stuff.
Absolutely.
So
I
anyway,
just saw the time. We're running short here.
Yep.
I guess probably the quick is go to the city's website and research a lot of this stuff.
You can.
If you have questions,
If
Roswell.
you have any questions, you can call me or email me.
Yeah.
Kathy Lay. My number is 575-500-0395.
Yeah. And then roswell-nm.gov is the city's website. You can see everything city related there.
Yeah, keep Roswell beautiful.
Yeah, and if you get a little lost there, don't hesitate to call and get.
Call City Hall and ask for Kathy Lay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll help you. I'll hook you up.
There you go. And she's not related to the potato chip people, so don't be asking her for chip money.
We're not those Lays. It's Lay, not Lays.
Yeah, that's right. There's just one Lay.
There's
don't
just
get
not
Lays.
I don't have multiples. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Kathy. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
And if I don't see you before Christmas, have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I imagine I will, but in case I don't, Merry Christmas.
We stay busy.
Yes, take care. We'll see you
Thank
next
you.
time. All right, 9:53. Let's go ahead and do quick news, quick break before we go. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. A shooting disturbance investigation continues in Roswell after one man was shot and wounded near the Walmart on Thursday. Chavez County Sheriff Mike Harrington said gunshots broke out between the occupants of two vehicles. It was learned during the investigation that the altercation began on Devonian Road. It came to an end in front of Berindo Elementary School on West Pine Lodge after one of the vehicles rammed into the back of the other, causing it to crash. The incident caused the store, the Walmart, to be evacuated because of concerns of an active shooter inside, but that was never the case, Harrington said. New Mexico's top educator says a staffing crisis is the top problem facing public schools. Friday, the state's education secretary shared details of a $200 million plan to increase teacher salaries by at least 7%, part of a budget proposal that would compete for teachers with surrounding states and make it more worthwhile for people to become teachers. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty cool today. We'll stay in the low 50s for the afternoon high with high pressure moving into our area behind last night's cold front. The weather pattern looks fair, though, mostly sunny through the afternoon hours. Overnight will be clear and chilly with lows in the upper 20s to around 30, and then we'll start to warm up tomorrow. Highs 65 to 70 and sunny. We'll be in the 70s on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. It's off to the National Junior College Championship game in football for the NMMI Broncos. So over the weekend, it was NMMI. This was actually on Sunday. NMMI defeated Northwest Mississippi Community College 49-30. NMMI is seated second in the playoffs. Will now take on number one, Iowa Western Community College, which squeaked by Snow College. This national championship game will be on December the 17th in Little Rock, Arkansas. Now, some of these stats, well, one in particular, are a little bit hard to fathom. Anthony Grant from NMMI, their running back, ran for 398 yards and 5 touchdowns. He had one 88-yard touchdown run. Yeah, that'll help, but he still ran for 300 more. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm John Scott. Wall Street closed out a bumpy week with more losses following a mixed reading on U.S. jobs. Markets that investors said was tough to parse. The S&P 500 gave up an early gain and closed 0.8% lower. The benchmark index is coming off a jolting stretch where it swerved by at least 1.2% in 5 straight days, pounded by uncertainty about how the newest coronavirus variant and about when the Federal Reserve will halt its support for markets. The Dow was down 59 points to 34,580. The Nasdaq dropped 295 to 15,085. The S&P 500 lost 38 points to 4,538. New York oil fell 24 cents to $66.26 a barrel. With business, I'm John Scott.
You're invited. Come be a part of the grand opening celebration of the Valley Cafe on Tuesday, December 14th. Located inside the 180 Youth Building at Church on the Move on Brasher in Roswell. Enjoy soups, salads, sandwiches, burgers, and more. Try some of their signature recipes like the sweet and spicy burger with honey jalapeno bacon barbecue sauce, Chef Anthony Noble's fried avocados, and the Smotherman burger with creamy green chili sauce. Need a morning pick-me-up? Swing by for coffee or breakfast burritos on your way to work. The all-new Valley Cafe, open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or even a snack after school. Where can you find the best selection of beautiful and unique home decor in the region? Easy. Casa Decor in Ruidoso. For years, people from all over have come to Casa Decor for the best selection of rustic, real wood furniture, beautiful decor from the Southwest and beyond, and quality outdoor furniture and accessories that are built to last a lifetime. At Casa Decor, they have over 10,000 square feet of showroom for everything you need. Casa Decor opens 7 days a week from 9:30 to 5 at 1214 Meacham Drive in Ruidoso or online at casadecorruidoso.com. Proud supporter of local high school sports. Attention dart enthusiasts, shooters, or just plain old chuckers. B&B Newsstand in downtown Artesia is the only place for quality dart supplies and dart boards. Plus, find wacky adult gifts like novelty socks and cup towels, Candleberry candles, Zippo lighters, and so much more. Come in and browse all the cool stuff at B&B Newsstand. You won't be disappointed. Root beer floats, Coke floats, and the best fountain drinks in town can only be found at B&B Newsstand on the corner of Main and Roselawn in downtown Artesia. Open Monday through Friday from 11 to 7.
Looking for the perfect gift? Get them a shirt from Untuck It. Untuck It shirts are designed to be worn untucked. They're the easiest way to keep him looking sharp and feeling comfortable. You can't go wrong with their super soft flannels, wrinkle-free shirts, performance shirts with stretch, and cozy sweaters that are all perfect for right now. They even have a line for her. Find the perfect gift for every guy on your list at one of 80-plus Untuck It stores or at untuckit.com. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked.
More than 1 in 3 people will face cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, fear can stop you from getting cancer screening, but it won't stop cancer. Early detection can save your life. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to act. Cancer screening is safe, effective, and accessible for everyone, including free or low-cost screening programs. Go to cancerscreenquiz.com now and take the American Cancer Society's 2-minute cancer screening quiz to find out what screening tests are right for you. Don't wait. Take the quiz. Get screened. Go to cancerscreenquiz.com now. cancerscreenquiz.com.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell.